Hello, everybody. Welcome to Irongeek Cast number 170, Scrooge McMouse. How's everybody doing?
I'm good.
Squeak, squeak.
Scrooge McMouse. I'm probably doing better than a Scrooge McMouse.
Apparently, the controversy is not over Scrooge McMouse. It is over the Mousekowitz.
I have no clue what any of this Scrooge McMouse is.
Hello, everybody.
So this guy in Europe created a little game supposed to be to teach kids don't reuse passwords. Like make sure to keep your stuff patched.
Yeah.
And he told me that the whole idea to use mice as his characters in the whole thing was because of he likes My Hacker House, so we went from My Hacker House to Mouse.
Oh, nice.
And
Okay.
so he's the good guys and bad guys in his whole scenario are mice, and the bad guy is a Mr. Mousekowitz. And then you have Jackie
Nice.
calling it anti-Semitic, and right off the bat, and that's where we're at.
And she apparently couldn't DM him because he had blocked her for some previous drama that I don't know what, but she could have found his email address and emailed him. But no, she wanted to make a big noise for clout.
Yeah, probably.
Oh, that was the whole Jackie stuff.
Yay!
This is like the fourth person she's done this to.
I do feel a little bad for the guy because even though I don't think it's anti-Semitic and it's clear he has absolutely zero anti-Semitic intentions behind this, let's face it, a game where the bad guy has a Jewish last name and it features banking as a theme, where the bad guy takes his army of rats or to go after the steal money. If it wasn't Jackie, someone else would probably cause drama over it.
It was going to be Jack. She loves to do that.
Yeah.
He is. Is this some important person?
No.
It's some random guy who volunteers for health organizations in Europe.
Anyway.
Sorry. Anyways, go ahead.
Yeah, how's everybody doing tonight?
Can't complain.
But I don't know if you noticed, Caprico is not going to be making it at least for a while. He has to concentrate on some other things. So,
No, not Capricorn.
Oh, I hope everything's all right with him.
it is. Yeah, I think he's concentrating on some CTF stuff he's doing.
Oh, I like to do CTF stuff. I do more of it.
I got my tractor, so that was good. Clean. That's
not
nice.
Not been getting much sleep as of late, so I'm exhausted.
Yeah, that's not fun.
I've been laying down, but I've not been necessarily sleeping.
I've been sleeping, just waking up 2 to 3 times a night every night for quite a long time.
I do have a new mattress coming though, so that'll be kind of nice.
Any kind of special mattress or just a regular mattress?
All right, who put the mouse in the show notes? All right, sorry, I can't leave that there.
I guess kind of a specialized mattress, not like super specialized, but it's like memory foam and memory gel or gel.
Who makes it?
I don't know. Let me see. I mean, it's not like a big name brand. I mean, I'll tell you. Because I looked at the big name brands and, like, you know, they want $2,000 for some of these things. It's called Classic Brands.
Okay, I don't know them. I bought a king size Brooklyn bedding one about 2 or 3 months ago, and it was a pretty good decision. It's actually like really nice and cool to touch. Like you lay on it, it's like you feel the heat getting sucked out of you, kind of thing.
Yeah, and that's what this is supposed to have. So I've never experienced that. I'm just hoping it, works. So whenever you lay on it, like, do you actually feel like cooler laying on it?
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
Sweet, then.
The big problem I have is I have mattress protector on it, which is not great, and that does block some of it. But at the same time too, it keeps the mattress from getting destroyed by my sweat and whatever else. So
yeah, I mean, you are a hairy beast of a man. So
Yeah, I am, and I move a lot in my sleep. When I sweat a lot in my sleep, so yeah.
Between you, Adrian, and Frank, I'm kind of curious who has the most sweat. I'm pretty sure that could be a competition. A very disgusting one, but that could be a competition.
Has the most sweat?
Yes.
Oh.
For a fat person, I actually don't sweat that much. So.
Uh-oh. Well, it sounds like, Frank's going to be out of contention, so it's going to be down between the rest of you.
I think Adrian would win, honestly.
Maybe I do sweat like pretty bad when I'm, actually doing some exercise.
Yeah. I kind of sympathize with you a bit, Beef, because I haven't slept well either the past couple weeks. I actually haven't had a good weekend to myself, and this weekend's gonna be no different. So
it was Memorial Day weekend. Nobody got any extra sleep at all.
Sleep. I'm too busy staying up all night hacking all the things.
Yeah, priorities. Someday sleep will become one. If not now, once you're dead.
That's what drugs are for.
Who was? I think it was Einstein who said, "I'll sleep once I'm dead." Don't quote me on that, because I'm sure my quote was probably not accurate either. But somebody once said, "I'll sleep once I'm dead."
I think that was my mom.
Yeah, I think she is who told me that. Sorry, I had to take that cheap shot.
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay.
So we got all sorts of fun stuff in the show notes.
There you go.
Yeah.
The only thing kind of announcement-wise that I could think of, I did see Black Hat has gone virtual, and they still want like $4,000 or something crazy per ticket.
Smoking some crack.
So, if you're going to do that, your company pays for it. How about it?
Yeah, about being there in person and so forth. These virtual cons thing, not so much. Oh, speaking of cons, we got another announcement for postponement of a conference. Hoosier Hacker Con was going to happen. I believe it was the 25th to the 27th of this year. It's moved to 2021, September 24th through 26th.
Yeah.
Tickets are
refunded. Runs that? Some schmuck.
Actually, there's 4 people in the organization group.
Well, good.
Good.
Hopefully they have the majority of the stuff organized for next year and won't have to do as much next year then.
Yeah, well, we got the website up. We got various bank accounts created and so forth. So it's 2 years of no taxes on that particular LLC.
That's nice at least.
I don't know what the filing's going to have to look like.
No one does. Taxes are a fucking shit show.
Yeah, speaking of taxes, I got to do mine too. Hooray. My business and mine.
Yeah, I already got mine in. I have an accountant do it. It's just gotten too complex. And, dude, I really wish they'd simplified the way they do taxes.
You can thank the Intuit for the reason why it's not.
The Intuit lobbyists.
Yeah, the tax preparation people, HR Block and Intuit, they're the main reasons why you have to do taxes yourself, and that the government can't just take over the generic, receiving the W-2s from employers, and just handling a lot of that on their own.
Yeah, that's what I've always been like. You have this information, and the information you don't have.
I'm wrong anyway.
The information you don't have, I could have lied about it if I filed myself. So
it's Intuit and a little bit of HR Block.
So they've been lobbying?
Oh yeah, because let's face it, if the government did all that tax work, Intuit would go out of business. Or at least would lose a fuck ton of money.
Yeah, probably.
Plus their lobbying is public, and anytime this topic actually does come up, because there are activists in Congress who want to just have the IRS handle, taxes for people. For 99% of cases, there is no real dispute that the IRS can take care of it. Yeah, Intuit just lobbies and says, "Oh no, there'll be discrimination against people. The government will have all these errors and steal money, and the only way taxpayers can be sure that they're getting a fair shake, that they're not being stolen from by the government, and to do their own taxes.
Yeah, I mean, like, part of the tax system was with the individual, what's it called? The individual discounts, not discounts.
Deductible?
Deductible, yeah, or deduction. Yeah.
Deduction.
The deductions, are so freaking high now. Like, my house makes no difference. Interest paid on this and that makes zero difference. Like, it would take me so much to have to itemize that I'm nowhere close to ever needing to itemize, at least not at this point in time. So, I mean, literally, it's like enter in your W-2 information or whatever. Yeah, W-2, I think, and I'm done. Like, there is no itemization. The deductions are so freaking high now. So that part is definitely a lot easier.
I've only ever itemized deductions once, and that's because you could carry over. You can carry over a lot of deductions year over year.
Yeah.
In just 1 year, I finally had enough.
Yeah. I mean, but my taxes in the past, like, yeah, it sucked. I used to itemize a lot of stuff and this and that. And now it's like, I don't itemize anything.
I really particularly dislike doing taxes as a contractor because the 1099 just makes it a pain in the ass. They don't take out your money from your checks, so you got to cover your.
Yes. Now that perspective, I could definitely see past as well as present still sucking from a tax perspective.
You guesstimate wrong, and you owe them a shit ton of money, and you overestimate. You got to wait to get your money back.
Yeah.
It's an interest-free loan you're giving the government.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And two, like, if you make over a certain amount, then you have to start going to quarterly taxes, where you're not only paying up once a year, but now you have to figure all that crap up on a quarterly basis.
Oh, yeah, that fucking prepayment of taxes. I had to do that last year.
Doing estimated taxes. I did it 3 times last year, and they fined me, I think, only $25 for not doing it 4 times. It's like, the fuck?
Yeah. Nice.
I am salty. For my state. Fucking, I had to give them an entire paycheck in advance.
Wow. But you don't work contract, right, Liz?
No. But I had investments I sold.
Right. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Kind of wish I held on to them because they're worth 3 times as much now.
Yeah. Yeah, those are the ones you always wish you would have held on to.
Yeah, I made 1/3 of the money I otherwise would have had I sold all my Nvidia stock now, because like I had like 200 shares back when they were like $12, and they're like $360 now.
Wow. Yeah. That's one, 20 times more? 20 times
30.
increase? 30 times increase? Nice. Yeah, it's definitely one of those that would have been nice.
I mean, I still made a profit, and it helped fund a lot of convention traveling. So I can only be so bad.
Yeah, it's not too shabby. Yeah, my stocks are all right now.
Oh, God,
I'm at least at break even. For where I was about, I think 5-6 months ago. So it's not too bad. But too, last year as a whole, I think I was up close to 22%. So now I'm down still about probably 8 to 9%. So not too bad.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell to do with investments. Like early on, I was gonna say, I mean, like right now, I fully expect the economy to just get worse and worse and worse.
Slowly improving a little bit, at least as far as the stock market's concerned.
Right, but the underlying metrics are real. You have Great Depression era levels of unemployment, but the stock market does not reflect that because of the ungodly amount of. I think it's got quantitative easing infinite, and all this extra free money being poured into the economy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're printing money like it's going out of style right now.
Yeah, so basically, should we expect a lot of inflation?
Yeah.
That would be, if not now, it's probably gonna happen well within our lifetimes, because just you don't pour all these trillions upon trillions of dollars into the economy without some kind of consequence at some point.
Yeah, somebody somewhere is going to want paid eventually. And we're going to have to pony that up at some point.
Yeah. But at least for now, the nightmare scenario would be stagflation. That's when inflation goes up, but everything else is going down. Economy is going to shit. So productivity goes down while everything costs more.
True.
I think we're a little ways away before worrying about that. We're still in the midst of Congress. They're probably going to pass another stimulus at some point, and people are going to expect to live off your next $1,200 check for the next 4 to 5 months.
Yeah. Well, here's $1,200. Yeah, I mean, like, that's all nice that they wanted to do their little stimulus thing. The bigger thing would have been to kind of halt banks, credit card debt, mortgages, and vehicle loans. Kind of halt those. They aren't, interest isn't going to be accumulating, but kind of just systematically halt all the major loaning, right?
Well, they halt the loans.
I do recall, I don't know if it went to law or not, but I do recall talk of trying to halt any adverse impact on people's credit score or credit score during this time.
I mean, but even if there's adverse impact, they're still going to be backloading that dollar amount on, rear and adding all the interest that wasn't paid during whatever the time span is, right? So they're still going to get their money.
Presumably.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Because I think that would have helped people and helped, businesses a lot more than here's some money, do with it as you please.
I'm salty that publicly traded companies got almost all the small business loans. There's a number of small businesses near me that just posting signs up listing all these publicly traded companies that got these payroll protection loans while they got jack shit.
Yeah. I know it was very difficult because some of my friends have like a chicken farm, and it's not necessarily like a small chicken farm. It's a multi-million-dollar business, but they were only able to get, I think, $6,000 to put, and two, they're considered essential, and they were trying to still stay up and running. And they got like $6,000 to help them out because a lot of and I told you guys a week or two ago, a lot of the processing plants have gone offline. So they're losing vast majorities of their chickens because once they get up to a certain size, they either have to be slaughtered or have to be kind of essentially cremated because they end up having health issues and they'll break their legs and all kinds of other things. So yeah, it's been interesting. And two, that's another thing.
They can't get people to come and ship them away. Like the truckers are not available to come get that shit, bring it to the processing plants, even if they're open.
Yeah.
And it's one of the things that gets me is all these people saying, "We're going to be closed down forever. We can't do anything. We've got to be completely safe." Well, other people are going to die because of economic collapse. So
I saw something today that more people in California, and I haven't validated this. It was just something I saw, so this could be incorrect. But I saw that more people have died in California due to suicide than coronavirus, during this current time frame.
I don't want to double check on that, but that'd be interesting.
Yeah. And if that is true, that's incredibly discouraging. Well, on that happy note, anybody want to discuss any of those topics anymore? We want to hit some show notes.
Yeah, show notes.
And Justin, buy from farm, send to butcher. Hardly any butchers are up and operating yet. The large facilities have been shut or haven't been in operation, and the mom and pop butchers have like a 2 to 3 month waiting list right now, just because they're so inundated with business that they can't keep up.
It's craziness.
It is, and two, like there could be an issue with especially meat and some vegetables come winter time, because right now is whenever we're normally feeding everybody who wants it, as well as stockpiling for winter. And right now, all we're doing is feeding everybody. There's no stockpiling occurring.
Well, another crazy thing with the supply chain is all that food that was going to go to the restaurant can't just be repackaged and sold in the supermarkets, because there's a whole process to, getting food in the state where you can sell it in the supermarket. And it's the packaging that they have for this food. It's designed to be given to restaurants who can process that. So it's like you have all the food that you can't sell. What?
Like the restaurants have these special tools and stuff, or?
Well, if restaurants are going to get this like 50 fucking pounds of beef, you're not going to just shove that to a shelf on Safeway.
Oh, I got you. Yeah, what would be nice there is if that went to like food banks, right? Who could then redistribute it.
Yeah, but even food banks, they only take food in that's packaged certain ways. You can't just 50 pounds of beef at the food bank. Really.
Yeah, like food at food banks often spoil. Like volunteers at food banks are just told, take whatever the hell you want. If you don't take it, it's going to go bad. And we're going to throw it out anyway, especially for the perishable stuff. Because they generally get more perishable food. Some food banks get more perishable food than they can distribute.
Yeah.
There's also the matter of transportation costs are also non-trivial. If you don't live near a farming area, the cost of transporting that food alone could easily more than double the price.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
And two, food banks are, and I get what you're saying, and where a lot of other people are coming from, because food banks are normally going to be looking for donations, right? Not necessarily paying for a lot of the things.
I mean, it'd be nice if they can get. I know that some places, like some food distributors, are sending food to food banks, but I imagine that is highly dependent on the economic circumstances and the distance between the farm and the food bank to begin with.
Yeah, because like here in Ohio, there's farms everywhere. 5% of all the land in Ohio is, well, maybe not that high, but at least 80% of the land in Ohio is still agricultural, and only like 20. Hey, Charles is here.
Hey,
and
Charles.
Like 20% or less is still like city and everything. So we have farms freaking everywhere. But yeah, you start hitting like East Coast, or especially Northeast Coast. Yeah, you probably don't have a lot of farms over there, do you?
What, Northeast Coast?
Yeah.
Upstate New York, you're saying, or?
Well, New York may have some farming, but I'm thinking more like Maine, New Hampshire. Virginia probably has quite a bit.
Maine, I doubt it, but I don't know. I doubt about Maine and New Hampshire, but definitely New York, yeah.
Yeah. Now, does Virginia have too much farming still?
They have a lot of farming, yes.
Okay. I figured so. There's quite a bit of land there. Rhode Island, I wouldn't expect has any farms.
No.
Cute little sliver of a state. Man, you guys are adorable.
Just like Delaware. little pint, little smidgen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I call those the cute states. They're just precious.
The kissable states.
Yeah.
Oh, Delaware is such a kissable state.
Okay, so real quick before we get to show notes, Charles, how you doing tonight? How's your week been?
Oh, the week's been pretty good. I've been spending some time doing AWS pen testing.
Oh.
So yeah, just kind of jumping out on a limb
with permission.
Well, no, this is my own personal account.
Okay.
I've
there we
created
go.
myself a free account. I'm using CloudGoat and teaching myself AWS pen testing.
Nice.
Like your things that are specific to AWS.
Yes, like so with CloudGoat, it's no different than a web goat, but except you're doing it in the cloud.
Nah.
You're using your AWS personal account, like just like a free tier account. And CloudGoat has a script where it dumps all like the resources, like the instances and the resources, into your your personal account. I created just an account and I called it CloudGoat, so I know what it was, and then set everything up, installed AWS command line in Kali Linux, and then from there just did a lot of the different scenarios and whatnot, like testing for like privilege escalation, looking at what services are running, and did different boundaries so far. But so far so good. I'm learning a good amount about AWS as a whole as well too.
Now, the how much storage space do they give you?
Not really sure how much space that they gave me on the free tier. I literally just created.
Like, I'll find out once they send me a bill.
I mean, but for the free tier, it's like $1 to $3 a day.
Oh, okay.
Well, on the free tier, you basically have a little miniature machine that you can use. There's a few services you can use that don't charge you for, but a lot of stuff they do charge you for, like data in, data out.
Okay.
So be careful with that, because you do have to give a credit card and all information, and set up billing alerts so that way you go, oh crap, I'm getting billed. Why am I getting billed?
Use a privacy.com card with a spend limit. So God forbid you go over, you just close the account.
Yeah, I love your hat, by the way. Because I'll probably say that if I go over the spending limit. But no, so far so good. It's been a pretty good learning experience so far. Like I said, once I spin it up, like when I'm ready to do like specific attacks, if I'm not doing anything, destroy, spin down. Yeah.
And Charles, that means you have to actually get rid of the VM. You can't just power it off.
No, I destroy everything.
Yep.
To the destruction, and then I log into the web console account to make sure there's no instances there.
Hi everyone, and welcome to my little corner of the.
What the? Yeah. So Wednesday for me has been pretty cool. What else have I done? Did a little bit of threat hunting this week. Project's coming to an end like next week. So that particular project, not like my threat hunting career or whatever, just like that little project
that you know of.
Hey, if it does, then so be it. I'll be all right. Yeah, I that's stuff I choose never to worry about. So
it's good stuff.
Yeah, but I don't want to hold anybody up from the show notes.
Show notes.
We can rock out with the show notes.
No. Don't you ever do that again. No, Charles. No.
Can I go preach report?
No, Charles. Bad Charles.
Bad Charles. So what can I go with?
Okay. But that's still better than you rapping though. I'll give you that one.
Oh man, you will never. Let me tell you, you will never ever hear me rapping.
Okay, Mr. Trying to rap whenever he does his morning talks.
No.
Okay.
That's not rapping. That's just me and my personality.
He's very, very.
Charles, we always know when you're trying to rap. Anytime your hands are like this and they start crossing, that's you trying to rap.
No. Help someone, hug someone. That's not rapping. That's love. That is love.
All right.
Help someone.
Show notes.
Yes.
Show notes.
Bank of America reveals data breach in PPP application process.
Ooh.
PPP.
Not as juicy as you would think. So Bank of America has revealed a possible data breach on business clients' information in the Paycheck Protection Program. It happened on April 22nd. Essentially, Bank of America was uploading some applications to a test system built by the U.S. Small Business Administration, And during this access to the platform, they accidentally allowed other lenders to see all of the applications that they uploaded instead of just letting the Small Business Administration see them.
Mm-hmm.
So pretty much everyone who had an account on that system was able to see the applications they uploaded, which is not good. But to be fair, all these people who have access to that system were other banks that were doing PPP loans. So it's not like anybody could have seen it. It's not as bad as it could be. So that's all I got for that article. The next thing we have is fun. 26 million live journal. Who still has a live journal? Oh
Me?
my God. That reminds me of back in high school, writing really bad poetry and posting it on live journal.
Really?
Yeah.
So this is a site that exists that I could sign up for. Live journal.
Yeah, live journal. Yeah.
Live journal.
Well, look, I probably won't sign up though until after I hear what this breach report.
I mean, I've had
includes.
live journal. I used live journal back in 2003.
Wow.
Yeah.
They probably haven't just updated their system since then either.
Probably.
Live journal, live journal, you had to have an invite from an existing person on live journal before you could actually create an account.
Well, see,
that was a
that's
long time ago.
That's
That was
why I
way
never
back
got
then.
one.
I
Nobody
imagine
likes me.
They probably did away with that requirement.
I got an invite from a good friend at Texas Southern University. That's how I got in.
To get your Gmail account?
No, for talking about a live journal.
I know.
About live journal.
Remember, Gmail did that too.
Yep. Email.
So essentially, LiveJournal is refusing to admit they had a breach, yet 26 million user accounts are being traded on the dark web, and Troy Hunt got a copy of it because he gets copies of everything.
He gets copies of things that they want him to get copies of.
Yeah, that's true. So no idea how this hack happened. They're thinking maybe it might be a credential stuffing attack, essentially reusing passwords found in other breaches and verifying that they work on LiveJournal. We don't know, but they're being traded. So that's always fun.
Nice. Oh, wait. It said the day of the breach was 2017? Holy cow. Okay. Nice.
Yeah. But it is only now that we know about it. So
yeah. Nice. Interesting.
Exactly. Florida unemployment system with a data breach. Some Florida residents who have made unemployment claims and may have had their personal data stolen. It's gotta suck. It's like kicking somebody who's already down, you know?
Yeah.
So they received more than 2 million claims seeking unemployment benefits. 1.6 million claims were verified. When you're trying to figure out how it happened, it doesn't really say. Given your DEO track record with processing unemployment applications, I'm sure you'll understand the great concern I have that all remedies have been quickly taken care of and that Floridians can be assured their personal information is now secured. Linda Stewart, a senator, said.
I just really like that they called themselves Floridians. You know, I always thought that was a joke and then found out that was real.
You can't just call them Florida man.
You can't. How about meth and alligator people?
Yeah, I thought that. How is that not acceptable? I mean, meth and alligator people. That sounds pretty official.
Nah.
They're shorten it to alligator fuckers.
Oh, but to piggyback on that, just briefly, I know Ohio has had a similar thing. The pandemic, those who are seeking unemployment due to pandemic reasons, there was like an alternate site set up and blah, blah, blah. But I think it was White Hats who conducted a independent security audit of the site and found that it was easily breachable. And so they gave their findings to the state of Ohio, who I think are addressing the issues, but essentially anybody within the state of Ohio who has filed for unemployment benefits on that site should be assuming that their information has been compromised, which is always awesome.
Wait, Ohio too? I thought you said it was Florida.
That the story was Florida, but I know the same thing has happened in Ohio.
Is that publicly known?
Yeah, I saw it probably 2-3 days ago.
Oh, goody! I have a friend to inform.
Just the one though, right? We don't allow you to have more than one friend per state.
Ah!
I mean, see that's still a lot of friends though. Like they're good friends, right? I mean, that's still like 49 friends because you're in your state and you can't have somebody else in your own state. So, but yeah.
Yeah. So next we have Airbon International discloses a data breach affecting thousands of California. So Airbon is essentially an Amway type company that sells vegan skincare and cosmetics and nutrition products.
Those plant killers.
Yeah. And they disclosed the breach affecting 3,527 California residents. I don't know why it was confined to California. It doesn't get too much into that. But according to the company, personally identifiable information present was including name, email address, mailing address, order and purchase history, phone number, and their account password. According to their investigation, no payment account information was leaked, nor were their social security numbers accessed. I don't know why they would have these people's social security numbers. I guess maybe because they're independent business owners. But regardless, their info was leaked. Which is always fun. Next, we have Indian Truecaller users' data on sale. And of course, the company denies a breach. We were not hacked. They just somehow got all our users' passwords.
We have not been breached.
An online intelligence firm flagged that a cybercriminal was selling Truecaller records of 4.75 crore Indians on the dark web for just about 75,000 Rs, whatever currency Rs is.
Was that
Rupees.
a rupee? Yeah.
Rupees.
Yeah. There has been no breach of our database, and all our user information is secure. We take the privacy of our users and the integrity of our services extremely seriously, and we are continuously monitoring for suspicious activities. What a line of caca.
Is that Truecaller the application?
I do not know, so I cannot answer.
Okay.
Oh, I've heard of that one. Right. So that is like cell phone based address book, right?
Yeah, it's a caller ID. It's
Yeah.
community driven. It's like a hiya or Mr. Number, any of those where, if you see a number reported as spam, you can report it as spam, and we'll see it reported as spam too. So that kind of shit.
I think that may be.
So the information that they're selling includes the phone number, the carrier name, the gender, the city, email, Facebook ID, and other linked information.
Oh, the Facebook ID. Okay, that's something that could be a little valuable. All the other information is stuff that they already give out on the app anyway.
Well, regardless, it was a breach.
Yes.
That's what we do. We report on the breaches. Next, we have Wishbone. Wishbone breach. 40 million records leaked on the dark web. The dark web. A prolific dark web trader has leaked what they claim to be 40 million records of the popular mobile app Wishbone. The individuals known as Shiny Hunters posted the information to raid forums, which is also not the dark net.
No, it's not. That's open web.
claiming that since people are starting to resell Wishbone, we've decided to leak it for free. Shiny Hunters has been linked to multiple previous sales of breach data, including Home Chef, which I also have on the list this week. And popular with youngsters, it's an iOS and Android app that allows you to compare anything. Now, I don't know if I were a young user and I wanted to compare anything. I don't know what I would compare, but I don't think I should be uploading it onto the app.
I don't know. Anytime I hear Wishbone, I still go back to that like little white dog from the '90s or whatever it was. Remember that dog? Like PBS, I think maybe had Wishbone.
Oh, that guy, yeah.
Yeah. Little dog that went on adventures and stuff like that.
With that nerdy white boy. Unfortunately, in this case, the stolen passwords were in MD5 format. That's like easily broken, right? A weak form of password hashing.
Extremely.
Yeah.
I mean, but still, if they had like a 25-character cache or pass on there, yeah, it's still not going to be easy. But yeah, if it was something, pretty short, yeah, it's going to be cracked pretty quick.
Encrypted or tokenized data, however, could not be listed for sale on the dark web because it becomes undecipherable without the necessary key, therefore reducing the likelihood of data exposure during a breach and maintaining the security of valuable personal information.
Which means they probably weren't directly, like, physically on the system, which means they couldn't dump memory and actually get the keys out of memory.
Yeah.
So they found a compromised database and siphoned the data out the database.
So this is the first time Wishbone. This is not rather the first time Wishbone has been hacked. Back in 2016, they had 9.4 million records leaked, with 2.2 million unique email addresses, according to Have I Been Pwned.
And the crazy part with Have I Been Pwned? He was looking to sell that a couple years ago, and I was like, okay, yeah, I mean, because he just put it up and people were giving him some breach information. He hired some people to start like looking for breach data. And now whenever he was trying to sell, like, I don't know the exact amount, but I heard through the grapevine, it was like $40 million range, like crazy expensive, that started as like a little side pet project that became something he didn't really want to have to manage. And something you don't want to have to manage has turned into multiples of tens of millions of dollars.
Did he actually sell it, or is it still in his possession?
Yeah, he still owns and operates.
Okay.
Yeah.
Next, we have Home Chef, which was mentioned in another earlier article. They've confirmed a data breach. 2 weeks after a data breach seller listed their database of 8 million customer records on a dark web marketplace. Why don't they just say raid forums? It's always raid forums. It's just
not always, but often.
Almost always raid forums.
Yeah.
The Chicago company said customer names, email addresses, phone numbers were taken in the breach, along with scrambled passwords. The hackers also took the last 4 digits of the customer's credit card numbers and their mailing addresses. Last 4 of a credit card is useless, unless you're going to use it to socially engineer somebody.
Yeah, I would never, ever do that, because that's bad.
Last year, a hacker known as Gnostic Players stole close to 1 billion records and from a dozen websites, including 151 million records from MyFitnessPal.
I remember that one.
From Huaz.
Who's was?
Huaz.
Sim. I say sim, you say seam. I hate whenever people say seam.
I know everyone used to say sim, and now a lot of people say seam. So I had to say seam because I like to piss people off.
That's like Jaguar, And now used to you watch a Jaguar commercial and they said Jaguar. Now you watch a Jaguar commercial, the car company, and they're like Jaguar. Like, no, it's Jaguar.
last but not least,
And tomato and potato are still correct.
Yes, we have a data breach exposing 4 million dating app users.
Yes.
So a dating app that is called Moby Friends is based in Barcelona. And
Barcelona.
You got to put it in there.
Barcelona.
So 3.7 million users of the dating app's information was posted on a forum in January this year by a threat actor named Don Juji, and is
Don Cortolio.
attributed to a breach back in January of 2019. MD5 hashed passwords again, along with username, email address, mobile number, website activity, gender, and birth.
Yeah, see, what gets really fun with these is potentially the website activity. If it actually includes messages that have been shared, man, those get fun.
Yeah, I wonder if they just dumped the entire database and just rebuild it.
That's the hope.
Yeah.
Again, MD5.
MD5.
Yeah. Which I'm sure hasn't been salted.
Nobody does that anymore.
No, not salted anymore. I've been waiting for anybody, like hardly anybody, to even start the practice.
You should salt your hashes. It makes them tastier.
Yeah, it enhances the flavor profile.
Hacking exposed an average of approximately 850,000 records per breach, and most breaches originated from outside the organization. Yeah, that's some good info to know. So that concludes our data breach report section. Now we move on to ransomware, where we have two juicy ransomware attacks. One on an international fishery organization in Halifax. Northwest Atlantic.
This sounds fishy.
I know there's something fishy about this. Northwest Atlantic Fisheries Organization helps manage fish stocks in international waters. What does that mean? I don't know, but they do a thing with fish in the water. And
oh, you said stocks. I thought it said socks. Man, I'm disappointed. I was really hoping for some fish socks. Yeah.
They were hit by a ransomware attack, and it was disclosed May 24th to their stakeholders, rather. The NAFO servers have been compromised by ransomware and are currently unavailable. The NAFO Secretariat is working to resolve the issue. Imagine that being your job title. I am the NAFO Secretariat. We will provide further details shortly. No further details were offered. In most ransomware cases, the target's data is encrypted by the attacker, who then asks for payment to unlock the data. It is unknown if this was a random bot attack or if they were deliberately targeted. It's a learning opportunity, they say. Notifying stakeholders about the incident is the right response. I think for a moment, their most important course of action is to restore their operations and work closely with their stakeholders to make sure they're doing just that. But I think it would be really valuable to hear from them in the fullness of time about what happened, because I think other non-governmental organizations and small businesses could really learn from what happened to them.
Yes.
Yes. They did undergo an infrastructure security assessment in 2015, which raised some questions about their cybersecurity. They were asked whether or not they implemented a SIEM. They did not, or as Israel likes to call it, a SIM. And the NAFO Secretariat, I like saying that, it kind of rolls off the tongue, noted that they did not think that this was needed. We don't need a SIEM because it'd be very expensive to implement and may require user training. Why don't you outsource it to a company like Binary Defense Systems? No, only because Israel likes that company. Alternative meeting plans. We are working on an alternative SharePoint site to be hosted off-site. We hope to be up and running for the start of our meetings. We will have more positive news for you today. For the time being, use email to distribute relevant documents. Very fun. Kind of funny. They had an assessment. They told them you need a SIEM. They said, we don't want to implement that. It's too expensive. And then they got owned.
Yep. SIM.
SIEM.
SIM.
SIEM.
SIM.
SIEM.
Hey, if you want to say it incorrectly, that's perfectly fine.
There's a fucking E in it.
Correct.
Ransomware.
Theme is SEEM.
Ransomware.
And there's 2 E's in that.
Deploys a virtual machine to hide itself from antivirus software.
Yeah, this one is cool. I like this one.
It is cool. The operators of Ragnarlock ransomware are running Oracle VirtualBox to hide their presence on infected computers inside an XP virtual machine. Now, Ragnarlock only target governments and really high-end organizations that have lots of money. They don't go over after like your average end user. So the operators of Ragnarlock ransomware are installing a VirtualBox app and running virtual machines on computers they infect in order to run their ransomware in a safe environment outside the reach of local antivirus. The latest trick has been spotted and detailed today by UK cybersecurity firm Sophos, and shows the creativity and great lengths some ransomware gangs will go to avoid detection when attacking a victim. Avoiding detection is crucial because Ragnarlock is not your typical ransomware gang. They carefully select their targets, like I was talking about before. They do not go after home consumers. They go after corporate networks and governments. They targeted victims in the past by abusing internet-exposed RDP endpoints, and if you have 3389 exposed to the internet, you're an idiot. And they compromise MSPs, managed service providers, tools to breach companies and then gain access to their internal networks. They're now deploying a version of the ransomware customized for the victim that demands an astronomical decryption fee in the tune of tens of hundreds of thousands of US dollars.
Whoa, wait. Tens of hundreds of thousands of dollars?
I don't know why
That
you
is
phrase it that way. But
the most poorly worded thing ever. Tens of hundreds of thousands of dollars.
a lot of money.
Yes.
No, millions?
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking. Not millions. Tens of hundreds of
Somebody's
thousands.
gonna do some math here. So because each of these carefully planned intrusions represents a chance to earn large amounts of money, they have put a primer on stealth and have recently come up with a novel trick to avoid detection by antivirus software. The trick is actually pretty simple and clever when you think of it. Instead of running ransomware on the computer, they run it in VirtualBox. They configure a virtual machine to give full access to all local and shared drives, allowing the virtual machine to interact with files stored outside its own storage. They boot up a Windows XP VM running a version of Microsoft XP called Micro XP, which, if I remember correctly, used to be the one that they would share on the file sharing sites if you wanted to download a copy of XP many, many years ago. The final phase is to load the ransomware in the VM and run it. Because the ransomware runs in the VM, antivirus won't be able to detect it. From the antivirus software's point of view, files on the local system and shared drives will suddenly be replaced with their encrypted versions, and all the file modifications appear to come from a legitimate process, namely the VirtualBox app.
Yeah, I mean, and two, that's going to really suck, right? Because if you're trying to do like firewalling, that's still going to be Nick's side, but to that local system, not firewalling off VirtualBox instance, and being able to necessarily look into the traffic happening there.
I mean, it gets its own IP address too. So if you go,
Yeah.
you know,
Well, yeah. If it's
you know,
yeah. So yeah, it is kind of clever. Now, unless you use a vulnerable build of VirtualBox, right? You're not necessarily going to have easy access back to the host OS. But they could do that and find an old VirtualBox build where they were able to gain host-based access, through the client.
well, the built-in file sharing option that's in there. You can share files between the host and the.
Yeah, but that share files, you still have to be able to execute that file on the. Well, I mean, if you got
No, you share the entire
VirtualBox on there, then yeah, you should have already had access to the host then. So I guess you could still do that, and essentially kind of gain and keep persistence. Have whatever file that you want to share down, and then just have a scheduled task that executes it. At a set time, or registry side, just have it executed upon system logon or whatever. So, or a service. Yeah. I mean, yeah, I really like that, especially for kind of masking your network traffic. Because, especially like you said, if you have that bridge connection, then you're going to have your own IP address, as opposed to like a NATed one. You'll have a specific, or say you do NAT it. The local system's still not going to be able to pick up on that traffic, and you're just going to come through as that local system. You're not going to have another DHCP assigned address. So
Right, you'd be using like internal, like a 1010 address or some shit. That's just for that.
Yeah, I kind of like that approach. I feel like if you go into that though, you are going to be slightly limited. If you once you compromise the box, you get your VirtualBox on there, get it stood up, and now you're dedicated and you stay within that VirtualBox instance, you're going to be a little constrained, but it's going to give you, I think, a lot more time on the network.
Push like a VHD file to the machine, or VHDX or whatever file format, and you can do VirtualBox starting up a machine headless right from the command line. So you don't even need to have an interactive GUI session to install VirtualBox and get it up and configured.
I don't think you even need a GUI session. VirtualBox, I think you can do command line.
You can do it all command line.
Yeah, because I used to do that. Yeah, that could be interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, I like where that one's going. Congrats on whoever was creative with that. And with VirtualBox open source, we are happy to support open source as opposed to paid products, which from a hacking perspective, I'm sure you don't want to pay for everything you do.
Imagine if they got a legitimate license for VMware free.
That would be hilarious. All
right. So next we have Strandhog 2.0 vulnerability allows hackers to hijack Android devices.
Oh, so we're not talking about like John Strand here, right? We're talking other stuff.
John Strand is the man, but that's not what
he's a man with a plan.
Yeah, he does some good damn trainings too.
Not too shabby. I like him.
Researchers at Norwegian app security company Promon on Tuesday discovered the existence of a serious Android vulnerability that allows a piece of malware to hijack nearly any application installed on the victim's device.
That's kind of cool.
It was exploited by tens of malicious Android apps to escalate privileges. Strandhog is an Old Norse term describing a Viking tactic that involved raiding coastal areas to plunder and hold people for ransom, exploits a weakness in Android's multitasking system that allows a malicious application with limited permissions to pose as a legitimate application in order to obtain elevated privileges, enabling attackers to spy on users and access data stored on the device. Described as evil twin, just like the original vulnerability, this can be exploited to hijack apps, but it allows broader attacks and is much more difficult to detect than evil twin.
Yeah, because I think I saw something about this where essentially they're impersonating other apps, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
So it does not require any permissions on the victim device and only needs to execute the malicious app to trigger the exploit. If the exploit is successful, the app can abuse the hijacked application to obtain the privileges needed to read SMS messages, steal files, phish, log credentials, track the device location, make or record phone calls, or spy on the user through the microphone and camera. Essentially, anything the phone can do, you can do. It's very difficult to detect, and exploiting it, attackers have explicitly and manually entered the apps they are targeting into the Android manifest. With this information, they then become visible within an XML file, which contains a declaration of permissions, including what actions can be executed. This declaration of required code can be found within the Google Play Store. It is not the case when exploiting Strandhog 2.0. Doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Israel, you want to take that?
Well, I was only going to ask one thing. So this is not remote. They can't install it remotely. Did you cover how they are initially getting on the device? I mean, because the user is going to have to explicitly download it from some source, right?
Yeah, it's got to be like an APK file or something, right?
Yeah. I mean, because it's got to get on there somehow. Like the chances of this actually, yes. So this would suck if it were to actually be on an Android phone, but to actually get it on an Android phone, that.
Well, they're saying that since it's so hard to detect. I mean, what if it got put in a legitimate app, like somebody?
Yeah, but
pushed
then
the app
too,
had this.
if it's on a legitimate app, then they got to market it. They got to do all that other crap that a regular company has to do. Like they're going to make a shit ton more money if they just make a regular app and then heavily market it and make their money, right?
Mhm.
As because you got to send a phishing link out, you got to do all this other stuff and get somebody to click on it. Then all you still have is a phone. Like this would be so directly targeted. Like you're not going to send this out to 100,000 users hoping to get amazing data back. You're going to send this to a very select group of, spear phishing individuals. That's, at the other end, hoping to get back exactly what you're looking for.
Right. I mean, this is something that one of those companies that sells exploits for Android devices.
Yes. Yeah. Where you're already upfront paying for this, tech, and you're paying out the wazoo for it.
Yeah. Still, it's interesting nonetheless.
It is interesting, because even whenever you hit like the fringe types of and I'm definitely considering this one more like a fringe, since you can't widely distribute it, it's not Windows. But yeah, those types of things definitely get interesting. Even, because I think it was last year, there was that Israeli research group who found that even within segregated environment, like air-gapped environments, they could listen to the tone of the hard drive spinning or something and could figure out the data that was being read. It's like, what the really? Like, okay, that is not conceivable in a real world attack. Like at least this one is. But some of the kind of out there attacks, still very cool to look into.
Yeah, like Red Balloon Security in New York does a lot of those kind of way out there attacks that are, like embedded hardware type stuff, but still very, very interesting. Like they did this thing called Funtenna, where they were able to pick up transmissions from a printer and essentially print a page, have it use it to exfiltrate data over RF.
Nice.
Yeah, cool. Anyway, I want to share my screen. Why are you not coming up? There you are. All right. Next, we have Turla Hacker Group steals antivirus logs to see if malware was detected. Turla,
And I think this is a genius idea.
yeah,
Right?
it's pretty clever.
Because now you know, right? Like, I think it's great. It's like having your own independent oh crap, what's the biggie for they bring all the different AV vendors in? Not oh my gosh, I'm going blank. I don't know. Go on. I'll figure it out here in a second.
So one of Russia's most advanced hacker groups has created malware that gets its orders from email attachments sent to an arbitrary Gmail box. Security researchers from ESET have discovered a new attack carried out by Turla. This attack has taken place in January of 2020, and researchers say it targets 3 high-profile entities, such as National Parliament in Kharkiv, yes, whatever, and 2 ministries of foreign affairs in Eastern Europe. Targets could not be identified due to the national security reasons. These intrusions represent
due to reasons. Yes.
reasons.
So the Caucasus is the word you can pronounce.
Thank you.
You know where Caucasians are from?
These intrusions represent the latest entries in a long list of victims, most of which include diplomatic and military entities. This list started in mid-2000s with the Pentagon, has continued through the years with targets in Europe, Middle East, Asia, and Africa. The January 2020 attacks, however, stood out due to deployment of an updated version of Comrat malware, which ESET says contained some pretty clever new features.
Clever.
Comrat malware, also known as Agent.btz, is one of their oldest weapons and the one they used to siphon data from the Pentagon in 2008.
Cool.
The tool has been updated several times throughout the years, with new versions discovered in 2014 and 2017, respectively. The latest version was seen in 2017 in a report published today. ESET says they've spotted a variation of Comrat version 4 that includes these new features: exfiltrating antivirus logs and controlling the malware using a Gmail inbox. Both are pretty cool features. The first of these features is the malware's ability to collect antivirus logs from an infected host and upload it to one of its C2 servers. The exact motives of the hacker group remain unclear, but researchers who analyzed the malware said the operators might be collecting AV logs to allow them to better understand if one of their malware samples was detected.
Yeah, what would be really, really cool is if live, like on the fly, on the box, they initiate the payload and they're still able then obviously to collect the logs from the AV. If they then look at those logs, if they find that they were detected, to morph, add a couple bits to the end so their signatures change a little bit, and then rerun the primary payload and see if it still gets detected. And then have a secondary method of potentially obfuscating some of their code within, or changing a DLL that they use or something, and then rerun it and kind of keep looping until they find one that is successful.
Yeah, it's a really good thing that you do not write malware. That we know of. The thing that's generally hard to determine is what files are exfiltrated by the attackers. it's hard to understand if they are detected or if they leave traces behind them or not. Also, the Gmail as a C2 server. This is the only major change in this version of the malware. It includes not one but two C2 mechanisms. The first is the classic contacting a remote server via HTTP and retrieving instructions to run uninfected hosts. The second is Gmail's web interface, where it takes over the victim's browser, loads a predefined cookie file, and then initiates a session to a Gmail web dashboard. Here, the malware reads recent emails from the inbox, where it downloads file attachments and reads the instructions contained in the file. The idea is that whenever Turtle operators want to issue new commands to Comrade instances running on infected hosts, the hacker merely has to send an email address to the Gmail address, and all data collected following the execution of instructions is then sent back to that Gmail address and redirected back to Turtle operators.
Nice.
Yeah. I imagine it probably uses a different Gmail account for each campaign. Probably not the same Gmail account.
Yeah, and two, again, something that could be neat is, once you have a Gmail account that is, say, 40 characters long, essentially automate that process and then make it time-based. So you just add a 1 or a 2 or whatever to the end, where you have your script, within your C2 that's creating new Gmail accounts programmatically, and then you have all your stuff out in the field who is now going to those new accounts, even though they're not contacting a C2 or anything, right? But they know due to the time that this is kind of the base, and now based due to the time, this is what I should be contacting and talking to, going down that road. But two, even as a precursor, before you ever have to do some of those localized lookups, if the program didn't run, there are some malware families that will look at the top 15 or 20 different antiviruses and already have it programmed in kind of where they store their hashes and their signatures. And so they'll go in and look to see what signatures and hashes exist on that endpoint on disk. And then if they find that their primary payload will be detected, they will morph their payload into something that they validated will not be detected, and then they execute their payload. So that, and they kind of use that up front. But then if they were to use kind of this method, after that, if even then they were still detected, now they know, okay, I was detected, and now I have to morph even past what I already did. And,
I really hope none of these malware writers listen to our podcast.
These are things that people think about, who actually do this all the time, and this is their solo job. These are 100% things that they are thinking about and trying to figure out different ways of. And again, it comes down to blue teamers need to have a definite respect for red teamers, right? And understand how kind of the red team side works. And the flip side, which has almost always been true, red team has almost always respected blue team because they have to break through the blue team defenses. But it's been a catch up for many, many years, ever since we've been talking about security. Red teamers, I would say, for the most part, have understood blue, but blue is just now starting to catch up to have a better understanding of what is actually attacking them.
Yes, that's why I advocate for purple team.
Yeah, in a perfect world.
In a perfect world.
Yes.
After a breach, as you may have suspected, users rarely change their passwords, and when they do, they pick shittier passwords.
And real quick, before we mention that, I just wanted to say real quick, Osama asked a question, hey, what is this channel about? And we're normally talking about information security based topics. So things just kind of totally surrounding information security. So, okay, back to you, Frank.
I am now generally curious how Osama got a link to this channel if he doesn't actually know what it was about to some degree.
Maybe we were featured.
Well, maybe it was because we were named Scrooge McMouse. And You really like DuckTales.
Yes. So
That's
You
why I
mean
jumped on
Rescue
tonight.
Ranger? You mean Rescue Ranger?
No, DuckTales was also Scrooge.
Right, but
No,
Rescue
Rescue
Ranger
Rangers were the chipmunks. DuckTales was actually the
Gadget was a mouse.
his nephews.
Yeah.
Yeah. DuckTales was all about Scrooge. Oh, wait,
It
not
was.
DuckTales. No. What was the one where it wasn't Rescue Rangers? Where was he diving through his money bin?
that was DuckTales.
That was
Oh,
DuckTales.
okay. Yeah, okay. Good. Yeah, DuckTales.
That was mainly about Huey, Louie, and Dewey. He was just kind of like a father figure to them.
Yeah, a great grandfather figure. Yes.
Yeah. So Carnegie Mellon did a little study recently, and they presented their findings last week at a technology and consumer protection workshop. And in one study, 1 in 3 people who had accounts that were breached changed their passwords. And
1 in 3.
only 13% of the people whose accounts on these domains, their password, they changed it within 3 months of the breach announcement, essentially. Many find these some alarming things about this.
Many find these things alarming?
Yeah, I misread that completely.
Okay.
Tried to save it, but I fudged it up. So a collection of over 700 email addresses alongside their passwords, referred to as Collection 1, has been distributed on a popular hacking forum. I have Collection 1 and Collections 2 through 5. The reach of their findings, the authors of the study observed the security practices of 249 willing participants through a security behavior observatory group of consenting adults to have their daily computing behaviors observed.
That is not what I think of whenever I hear consenting adults.
They focused on 9 breaches and observed the behavior of users who were in that group at the time of those breaches. Each one of the breaches they focused on, one of the breaches they focused on was Yahoo from 2017.
Yahoo!
They checked whether or not they changed their Yahoo password after either of the 2 breach announcements. And if they changed their password, how good was the change? 1 in 3 users affected by the breach changed their passwords. Their new passwords were weaker than their old passwords.
Nice.
Although a small number of new passwords were significantly stronger to the other. To make things worse, users' new passwords were overall more similar to the other passwords that were breached.
Yep.
Add a
2
1
changed
to it,
to
it'll
3.
be fine.
It's a shame that they're in a position to actually be able to analyze that many passwords in mass, because they would say all those passwords are not assaulted.
Agreed. Oh, what? I mean, Liz, now I'm feeling like you're kind of salty.
I am, but mainly because of that legal bullshit where they talk about consent there, or because that consent there is some fucking click wrap someone clicked, or maybe something mandatory is saying that there's probably some click wrap somewhere, which lawyers say, you see, people enthusiastically want to show us pictures of their anus. That's why we need to have these anus recognition system, and we at Carnegie Mellon should be allowed to take pictures of random people's assholes. Yes, this is a literal thing they do at Carnegie Mellon.
And just to clarify, the click wrap that Liz is referring to is not the click wrap that Charles performs at all.
I very much have nothing but contempt for lawyers who do this crap.
You could have ended that sentence a little early, Liz.
What?
You are hitting pretty early on this stuff.
No, you said you could have ended that sentence a little early. I have nothing but contempt for lawyers. There you go. Done.
Not every lawyer is evil. Just a lot of them tend to promote legal fantasies and that twist the English language in a very political way.
They all do it.
And since collection 1 was mentioned, and 2 through 5, I did want to see. We haven't talked about him being arrested, have we?
No.
Okay. Let me. Do we have that in the notes?
Nope.
Okay. Let me find that, and I will come back.
So while you're looking for that, I can talk about the next thing, which is an article I came across, about 2 hours ago and didn't finish reading it.
Uh-huh.
But I'm going to put it up. And so this kind of ties into what's going on in the news with, Trump's tweets getting fact-checked. And Facebook, this is a story somebody from who has a Facebook account wrote about. He shared some political news that he actually helped write on Facebook, and then it got fact checked, and they blocked the original link, and it was not appropriate. So, I'm gonna read this and skip around a little bit. So, okay, I admit it. I still use Facebook. When I logged in last night, I saw something I had never seen before. A notification that read partially false information has been found in your post by independent fact checkers. I was surprised, but figured maybe it was a glitch or related to some joke meme I had posted or something like that. I clicked to learn more. It turned out that the independent fact checkers at USA Today had flagged a Vice article that I shared and am quoted in about the reauthorization of the Patriot Act and the ongoing fight around amendments to rein in mass government surveillance. This is an issue that my organization, Fight for the Future, has been working for the better part of a decade on. The post now contains a prominent flag shown to everyone who sees it, effectively censoring the original article and replacing it with a link to the USA Today article, quote, fact-checking, unquote, piece instead.
Now, real fast, I want to point out the irony that USA Today is fact-checking Vice and showing that things are false. That's a little of the pot calling the kettle black. Just a little bit.
I think what Trump posted that got that was something about voting fraud possible via mail-in ballots.
Yep.
Yeah.
With an opinion. I mean,
fact checking an opinion.
I mean,
Hey, quiet down there. I'm going to fact check you.
No, I would be curious exactly the logistics of how you could pull off massive voting fraud via mail-in ballots. Some people would certainly have to do it. Like, well, for instance,
I mean, I could easily see how it could be done, right? Like, you don't have to have photo ID. You don't have to do anything extenuating. They're probably going to make people put a social. Well, they may not even do that. Like, I don't know how they would do it and be able to say with any type of certainty, it is who they say is on this ballot or on this form.
I mean, by that very same logic, how can you be sure anyone who sends mail at any point in time to anyone who through the postal system is who they say they are?
Yeah,
that's really. If you're going to make this argument, you have to make the broader argument that there is rot at the very core of the postal service.
It depends on what you're sending.
No. I mean, it doesn't even have to be the postal service. I could sign myself. Somebody could, say I could sign a document, print it out that I am somebody else, and go into not even mail it from my house. Go just to the post office and mail it off. That has nothing to do with the postal service. My parents, they haven't died, but I could go and say, after they had passed away a few months ago, and I could write in their information and send it off. Like, there's nothing that confirms anything. It's
being able to track it back
to point value.
I mean, an after-the-fact audit could easily determine these people were dead by the time.
But is that going to happen?
Audits are done. Our cursory audits are absolutely done.
Elections are point in time.
Yes, and after-the-fact audits of if there were fraud, like if a dead person voted, that's the stereotype. That's obviously something that they will look for.
If a homeless person votes, like if anybody is, if somebody is writing and putting information forth as somebody else, You know, which vote is going to count if they have that other person's information?
Well, generally, the legal consequences, since voter fraud is a very severe penalty with absolutely next to no benefit for an individual to do it.
On raid forums, you can find the entire 2018 voter database for several states. So it's like
I mean, my biggie though is what is going to be there to be able to validate anyone as who they say they are. At least now they are trying to at least do, state issue ID.
Well, some places.
Yeah, some places enforce.
Funny about that. I got my state issued ID recently with the new upgraded requirements the feds require for you to.
That's only if you're going to be flying or not. You don't.
No,
have
I'm not talking about. No, it was as a requirement to even have a driver's license in my state. I had to do the real ID crap.
Really?
Yeah, really.
Virginia or Maryland?
Maryland. It was to push it on to the states. The federal government said, you don't want it, fine. We will just instruct the TSA agents to not allow anyone in your state to fly.
Yeah.
That was a cudgel, but that's why, at least in Maryland, they kind of mandated, okay, everyone after a certain date, when they go renew the license has to get a real ID. There are no ifs, ands, or buts.
Yeah, I mean, because like my parents aren't getting it. My parents don't fly. So my parents are like, screw it, no, we're not paying the extra money to do that.
And my dad has specifically stated, and this is his words, I don't care nothing about that internet y'all be on.
Dude, I want to meet your dad.
I envy your dad. I envy you.
When he says that, just tell him, okay, Boomer.
No,
he's past Boomer. Come on now.
My dad will be 78 in November.
See?
Yeah.
He's from the greatest generation. Or is it the silent generation?
My dad was born in 1942.
Could be the silent generation.
Boomer. He's a boomer. I'm pretty sure that at least almost counts as a boomer.
1942's boomer?
I think it's damn close. It might be 45 to 1945 to be a boomer.
42 is the great generation. I don't think it's boomer.
Yeah, that is definitely pre-boomer.
But no, my dad has specifically said that. He said, I don't care nothing about that internet y'all be on.
Dude, I love that. That is freaking awesome.
He don't use a computer because I tried to teach him, just hey, you use a. He said, I don't care nothing about that. Look, he said, I don't care nothing about the internet y'all be on. Y'all can have it. My dad, like I said, like I said, he does his fishing. He gets his meat from the butcher. He said, I don't buy meat from the store. He gets it directly from a local butcher.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, my parents don't, like I said, they're like they live in the country, not even the country, just rural area of South Carolina. But yeah, they don't do it like how, like what he calls like us, like modern. Like we don't do all that modern stuff. It's just too much.
Yeah, I want to go to your parents' house and have some food. That sounds good.
I want to go home too. I can't right now because of the pandemic.
I mean, South Carolina, that's not too far. What? How many hour drive? About 7, 8?
8 hours. It's longer when you got a kid. Yeah,
it depends. If they're potty training, yes. If they're still in diapers,
Yeah, it's different. But even if they're potty trained, you got to stop and go to the bathroom.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Potty training takes forever because then they are going to the bathroom once every 2 flipping hours.
Yeah. You know my pain.
I'm getting close to being there. I'm not quite there. Even though I'm encouraging it, like, go use the bathroom. No, damn it. It's going to suck.
It's going to be, it's rough. But yeah, my, that's just how my, like some of my parents, like, they're like, yeah, we get like our meat, like they get their steaks and stuff and from the butcher.
Heck yeah.
And eggs as well too. The butcher delivers it. He has like chickens on the farm, so they get like eggs from them too.
That's cool.
Yeah.
And too, my parents are similar. Not quite as old as your dad. My dad's 72,
Okay.
I believe. Like 72, 73, somewhere in there.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, they've gone to this husband and wife who are older than them and
Nice.
been getting farm fresh eggs for probably the last 15
There,
years.
there you
I
go.
mean, they didn't do that stuff when I was home because
No.
nobody could afford anything because I ate so much food. But yeah, once I moved out, my brother moved out there, like, holy crap, we actually have money.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yes, and that's how some my parents, like, they work in New York and then they get the New York pension. They live in South Carolina.
Uh-huh.
He retired from New York, and you get like the New York pension or whatever that is, and then and I mean South Carolina is cheap, so it's just dope them too. That's it. My mother and father at home.
Yeah, and this is totally way, way far out, but none of us will probably ever see a pension, right?
No.
And if anybody's listening and you have an opportunity for a pension, like,
take it.
You should consider it. Now, if it's going to be like 50% of what you should make in a comparable position, no, it's not going to be worth it, right? But if it's, say like 80 to 90%, yeah, that's pretty tempting.
Yes.
So, because even here in Ohio, there's a few companies I know of who still pay a pension. Now I have weighed the pros and cons of it, and they pay too low for me, unfortunately. But if you are, or say your significant other, because that's still a thing potentially, because you may not be married to somebody who is in security, because security is going to be a decent pay, for now and in the future.
Yeah.
But my ex-wife actually worked for a bank, and at the point that she was hired on, they still had a pension. And
okay.
She, after like 3-4 years, quit her job and cashed out the pension.
Woo.
I was like, you are a freaking idiot. I mean, and it was that plus a lot of other things that led up to a divorce.
Yeah.
I mean, but yeah, just, make sure, that if you have the opportunity or somebody make sure they really think that through and make sure that whatever decision they are making or you are making is the smart decision.
Yeah, seriously. I totally 100% agree.
I mean, because both my parents had pensions, and I'm like, holy, I'm never gonna get to have one of these.
I know. I look at them that, and I guess that's why my dad says he doesn't care nothing about the inner.
Yeah. Why would he?
No.
I mean, and two, I guarantee your dad has like 100 guys, right? Like, yeah, I got a guy for that. Hey, Dad.
Yeah,
are we gonna have some meat for the 4th of July? Yeah, don't worry, I got a guy.
Yeah, he knows. It's crazy. He knows so many people from his. Because my dad's a Mason.
Yeah.
Okay. My brother also.
Yeah, a Mason, and my mom was a
Eastern Star.
Yeah. So they know a lot of people all over the place.
Yeah.
So it's helped me a lot. I'll tell you that. It has helped me a lot.
But it hasn't helped you in getting a pension.
No.
That's what I know.
No. Maybe it depends on where you're at. The Masons, and is your particular subgroup the Knights Lodge?
No. Prince Hall.
Prince Hall. I'm sorry, I always screw up the name of that. Prince Hall.
No.
Yeah, my brother, he's in the Masons, but it doesn't seem to make him any good connections.
Nah, I don't know. My dad's he's like me, like social. He's a social butterfly.
Hey, that was the first step, being able to admit that you have that problem.
Yeah. I don't think for him.
I don't think I could hang with the Masons too long at the ceremonies. As far as being one, I like the Masons I've met, but I don't think I could be one because I wouldn't want to sit through all those ceremonies.
I'm not one. My brothers are. I'm not. I'm me.
My brother, I think it was early this year.
Yeah.
Last year, he got installed as whatever they call the high mucky muck. The what is it? Worthy patron or something?
Worthy matron.
Well, I'm talking about for the Masons. My mom was a worthy matron.
Grand Worshipful Master or something.
Oh, okay. Yeah, my brother got inducted into that on his lodge.
Yeah, my brother's he's that now. Of course, the question is, hey, when's your little brother, your baby, meaning me? When's your little brother gonna join? Like, I'm me. I'm too. I'm all over the place.
Here's what got me about my brother's installation, though. I think that's the right term. I don't know. When he was coming in to do that Grand Wolf Master, whatever, Grand Wolf Master thing, he had these officers for doing other duties that were inducted in with him, and like every single one of them was limping to the various seats because Bedford he's overweight by a good margin and doesn't take care of himself real well, and all of his officers were also old and not necessarily in the best shape. So like I'm watching this procession of people all limp to the various positions.
Oh, I was thinking maybe they were like carrying him up on a,
on
a throne, and
I've never seen that.
We're limping due to the weight, but okay.
Yeah. Maybe you get like 4 Olympic weightlifters, you could do that shit, but
Okay, back to the breach.
Yes.
So it's not really a breach, but the general gist of it is that he wrote vote to allow, but they believe it should be didn't vote to not allow. So because of that, their fact check went through and they essentially censored his article with their fact check. And that's that. The article goes on for like another page and a half, but the gist of it is says the problem with Facebook is not that it's a place where people can say what they want or share articles that may or may not be true. It's that Facebook is not town square. It's a machine designed to make money by shoving content down the throats of people that Facebook thinks will engage with it, thus generating advertising revenue, no matter what the cost.
Whoa. This sounds so opinionated. You mean that's what happens on Facebook? No.
Politicians, pundits, racists, and scam artists have always lied in public. Facebook allows them to directly target those lies to the people who will most likely believe them.
That is the most honest thing ever said about Facebook, which is amazing.
I fucking hate policymakers who treat advertisements as if they're fucking mind control. God, they're so fucking retarded. And a lot of tech policy people are so fucking stupid. Like, who here has suddenly changed your mind because of a fucking advertisement?
Ooh, talk about it.
Charles has.
No, I haven't.
But Charles' dad did. That's why he doesn't want the internet no more.
Yeah.
No, my dad.
Internet, you can keep it.
Look, my dad was like, look, my mentals are intact, and the internet ain't affecting me.
He is a much healthier man than most.
Yeah, he is. He's doing well.
And he ends the article with Facebook's surveillance capitalist business model inadvertently helped prop up the U.S. government's surveillance state ahead of a crucial vote. It's hard to imagine a better example of how urgent it is that we hold big tech companies accountable and fight for policies that limit their ability to manipulate and control the public debate rather than giving them more power in the name of truth. It's a pretty good argument, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, this is always going to be the case.
Talk about a lot of beef.
Right. I mean, with the whole effort to fight disinformation, you inevitably have to, unless you're going to rely on Facebook or Google independently verifying literally everything factual ever, which they have no capacity to do, then they have to rely on truth-providing arbiters or mainstream journalists. And how this generally works is the more mainstream the journalism outlet is, the more trustworthy they are. That's generally how it goes.
But let's be realistic. Not many people even do research at all on anything.
I did my research. I went and watched the YouTube video.
Yeah, that's research. Oh, yeah. I saw the YouTube video, and that's how they did it, so that's how I do it.
Whoa. Hey,
I
looked at least 10 Amazon reviews.
Hey, no, that's decent research. But if you're going to buy something, no, let's be realistic. if you're purchasing, if I'm buying something, right, I'm gonna look at the reviews. I mean, that counts as research. I'm gonna look at the reviews. I'm gonna look at, does this really make sense for me to get? Like, I'm gonna do like insane research before I even think about hitting submit payment.
Yeah, I mean, but too, like you talk about, you look at Amazon, you look at Walmart.com, you look at all these. The one major thing that they do not have is the ability for you to select minimum amount of reviews.
That's true.
Doesn't matter, 1 through 5. I don't care the level. I want this product to have been sold and been reviewed by at least, say 100 people.
Yep.
Nobody gives you that accessibility because with Amazon, all you have to do is send a product out to 25 people, and especially if it's a cheap product, not too hard, right? They
pay for people on Facebook to review your product.
Yeah, and you give it to them for free. They'll oftentimes, if you give them a product, you don't even have to pay them. You just give them your product, and hopefully your product is inexpensive.
Review, and then
yes, and then they go back and give you a 5-star review on it, and write something nice about it.
You know what I do to supplement that? I just join the Reddit channels.
Yeah, but
it's owned by China.
That's you.
No, I know that's just one. I'm just one person, but I'm just saying.
Yeah, but that's you. Looking at stuff. But one of the most basic things that I would love to see is the ability on so many of these sites is to be able to have minimum amount of review, because I manually do that, right?
Yeah.
I'm looking at something and or a type of thing, and then I start going through all the different people who sell whatever it is, and this is amazing.
Going to further entrench the big players, or otherwise further incentivize review selling services,
or help you, because there's always going to be those that they got to get up off the ground. So yeah, you got to get up off the ground one way or another. But oftentimes, whenever it's a product I'm looking at, it's not like a big service, right? It's a $100 item. It's not like $1,500+ item.
Not big for you.
Or I'll do the same thing with a $20 item. Like, I do essentially the same all the way around. But yes, you as a company have to get up and have to get running some way. And if you have a quality product, people are going to come back and talk about that. Especially if you start off by selling to your friends and family, or you're going to swap meets and you say, hey, go here, leave me a positive review on Amazon. If you think it's quality
and then on Amazon, you'll see no one who's reviewing a product with 5 out of 5 stars is a verified purchaser.
Yeah,
and that could be.
I've gotten pretty sure that my friend Amazon were reviewing products. I got some wireless headphones that normally go for like $40. I got them for free. I gave them 5 stars. They actually worked pretty well. I lost them recently. I'm pretty upset about it.
Yeah.
This bottle of wine, 5 stars.
Chuck away. But yeah, I mean, and not everybody's going to be as kind of asinine as I am with products, but it's just one of those features. It would be nice if they just gave us that option at least. I mean, because I do that without having the option. Like, you could have 30, 5-star ratings. Yeah. I'm not necessarily going to look at that product and take it seriously. So, yeah. That's just me. And I'm weird.
If you're weird, what am I?
We have a lot of people talking. Okay. Frank and then Charles.
I usually sort by the worst reviews first to see if it's a piece of shit or not.
Sometimes I don't necessarily sort by the worst reviews, but I will look and see, like what the percentage of worst reviews are, and then actually look at those, because there are times where the worst reviews are due to shipping, and I kind of negate shipping out. If it's an error due to shipping, I don't care as much, and it's not an actual error due to the product, because people will, leave like 1-star reviews for a shipping related issue, not a actual product related issue.
I I really don't know how to handle a lot of some of the fake review stuff. It's easy to tell some genre of it if it has broken English or to keep using weird buzzwords constantly. But then you get to the things where, I've read an article where a competitor hired fake reviews to make it look as if one of their opponents hired fake reviews for themselves.
But too, all those are, and two, I do some time frame type stuff too. Oftentimes, it's going to be rare that I acquire a product that has only been manufactured for like 6 months. Most of the things I buy are going to be 2 to 3 years plus, which means that reviews are going to be, there's going to be reviews from 2 or 3 years ago, from a year ago. I want to see those steady reviews before I buy something. There could have been the majority of bad reviews like 3 years ago. And then all of a sudden you kind of saw the company, kind of turn a corner, listen to the reviews, and you had good reviews since then. So I'm going to discount and not really care about those old bad reviews because they've had since is good reviews because they, listened and took that feedback and improved their product. And it's going to be, per product on a per product basis, but I'm not going to just completely dismiss a company due to having some bad reviews. There's going to be a lot of things that surrounds that.
Yeah, changing quality control can be a lot of things too. Like if you see a 5-star review from 3 years ago, and then now you're seeing a bunch of 1-star reviews because their quality is slipping.
Yeah,
or vice versa. That's how it says it.
Yeah, but, I made a big purchase in the last couple of weeks, right? The tractor. So, Mahindra was pretty high up on my list, and you said more recent 1-star reviews, but over the last 1.5 to 2 year time frame, there have been a lot of very, very, very poor reviews in regard to Mahindra. Just having a lot of quality issues, and I was, because up until then, most the people who have acquired Mahindras as a tractor are rock solid group and would bury bad stuff about their tractors just because overall they love the tractor so much. But here over the last year and a half, their quality has gone down, and it's very, very apparent. And so it's I'm kind of Mahindra. Sorry, you're off to the side. Not considering you guys.
I feel that way about Apple. I won't be buying another Apple laptop. The next one for me would be a ThinkPad.
What? Okay, due to the keyboard or what specifically?
Combination of things. Due to the keyboard and its operating system. I think personally that when Jobs died, each year after that, a little piece of the operating system that I know to love has died. So now I'm just to the point where I'm dealing with Apple until I can buy another laptop, but it'll definitely be. I've been looking at the Dells and the IBM ThinkPads. I think I'm gonna go with the ThinkPad.
If you're looking at a ThinkPad, definitely look at a Surface Book, and just do compare and contrast, on it.
Mm-hmm.
One of my buddies who's big Microsoft guy just adores the Surface Book. So I'm not saying do it, but at least put it in the comparison.
We'll do note taking. But that's like I said, and that's just an example of again, word of mouth, talking to folks. I think that helped. That if anybody's listening, if you're trying to make decisions on stuff, don't just rely on Google. Do word of mouth. Talk to people.
And especially if you personally know somebody who has something, right?
Yeah. That negates everything.
Yeah, because then you can ask them questions. It's not just the things that they remembered that were the major positives or the major negatives. You can ask them and figure out what that in between stuff was that may matter more to you.
Exactly, and you don't have to deal with a stupid chat bot that says, "Hi, maybe help you," and you ask them a question, and I know they're lying.
I named my chat bot Charles just because.
No. You know what I mean? You go to the website, and the chat bots, here they come. Hey, how may we help you?
You know, a lot of those are actually staffed by an actual human.
A lot of them are, but there's some that you could tell like they're a bot.
Yeah. There's some that's just like on the ready to give you some pre-formatted answer.
Yeah.
But I've been surprised a few times where it's like, oh my gosh, I'm sorry, I was I was planning on doing a SQL injection here, but hey, dude, I will totally talk to you now.
I need to try that one time. Like, doesn't Apple suck? Excuse me? Excuse me, I know it's real.
You're not Siri. Oh, cool. Okay.
You gotta ask questions to throw them off. Right?
That's right.
But yeah, all in all, yeah. I'm definitely gonna look into that.
I like it.
I know this may sound weird or crazy, but I don't know why. But for some reason, I just want to watch Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
Oh my gosh! So everybody here probably knows, and everybody listening, I have kids, right? So, which means I have Boomerang or whatever Tom and Jerry's on.
Yes.
In the background.
Uh-huh.
So Tom and Jerry, and I think I mentioned this in the past because I saw The Wizard of Oz a couple weeks ago, and I think I mentioned that on cast. But so Tom and Jerry, there was like a Wizard of Oz, and it's almost the entire Wizard of Oz movie, like animated with Tom and Jerry in these different sequences and scenes, right?
Mm-hmm.
So not only did they have that, they also had like Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, and Tom and Jerry are in it. And they drew Willy Wonka and what was the guy who was the guy who was supposed to be getting the everlasting gobstopper, the bad guy. Slugsworth or something.
Slugsworth.
Yeah. They drew Slugsworth in there. I mean, you essentially had the entire story, and it is freaking Tom and I'm like,
did they draw the Oompa Loompas?
Yes, they had Oompa Loompas even. I'm like, and this is not, and somehow I missed out on this whenever I was a kid because you look at the artwork, it's not like new, it's old. This was like back in the 60s.
Yeah.
And it's like, how did this never make it to me seeing it? And somehow now I'm seeing it. And my oldest isn't quite old enough to like it. He'll sit there and watch it for like 10, 15 minutes, but I'll sit there and watch a whole freaking movie. I'm like, holy crap.
And I just love when the Oompa Loompas be trying to now you talk about throwing facts in there, they be fact checking. They be like, Oompa Doopa Doopa Dee Doo, and they throw the thing and they be like, what do you do when your kid is so fat? Blah 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 blah. You're like, oh my goodness.
I know.
And they be like, who's to blame? The mother and the father.
Ta-da! Thank you.
I don't know if that would fly today.
What?
It wouldn't fly, but it's still completely true.
It's true.
I remember seeing the remake with Johnny Depp.
Yeah,
I still like that one.
One Spanish guy.
I remember not thinking it was hideous, but it's certainly not the classic of the Gene Wilder.
No.
You don't think
it was definitely darker.
You don't think the Gene Wilder one would fly today?
No, I don't think so. No.
What? Why? Oh, because of the.
Well, first of all, you just mentioned the fat shaming. Also,
that's what
the Gene Wilder version. The cast wasn't all that diverse. You basically had white people and orange people, and that's about it.
Whoa. Never mind.
That I recall. It's been quite a few years since I've seen the movie.
Yeah, the fat shaming, people will probably be mad.
Also, the old people stuck in a bed. There's probably some ageism in there.
Even Charlie and the chocolate
move. Then Charlie comes with the freaking ticket, and all of a sudden he's fine.
I got the golden ticket.
Yeah, even Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, the newer one. I don't think there was. I think everybody in there was essentially white too.
Yeah.
So they kind of at least got away with that.
These were a Spanish dude, the same Spanish dude for every Oompa Loompa.
But you know what?
Yes.
It's been like that. It's been like that for so long and many decades. It's just like people are desensitized. They're like, oh, well, you see that and you're like, all right. Now there might be some people that might call it out, be like, oh, this is ridiculous. inclusion. You know, so who knows? Yeah. You know what? You might be right, Adrian. It won't. It probably wouldn't fly to this day.
If I watch it again, I bet you I can find probably 10 different things.
Yeah.
The most unmakeable movie right now, probably.
What's that?
From the past, Blazing Saddles.
Oh yes.
Oh my God! Yeah.
At least mainstream. Yeah.
You talk about a world on fire. If it went to that, it would be.
Yeah, I remember the first time that I watched that unedited. That was like, holy crap.
I first watched that in the era of fucking South Park, so it's kind of like, oh, this is kind of like, I don't know, South Park. It seemed more like Family Guy tier humor.
No, you know what movie would make people cringe this day and age? Revenge of the Nerds Part 1.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Think that scene in the when the guys dressed up as Darth Vader and
yeah. Oh man. Oh man. I would not want to be the producer in this day and age. I did that. Who authorized this movie? Yeah. He'd have a Twitter account. Oh, cancel him now. Ban him from ever. Yeah. Oh, it'd be bad. The cancel culture would be on him like hornets.
This is something I didn't realize till recently. I think I'd heard before that for Blazing Saddles, did a great job, but apparently the first choice was Richard Pryor, but because of his drug problem,
yeah,
that they didn't go with him. And but no, he was still one of the writers on the script.
Yeah,
I remember this comedy sketch I saw of Richard Pryor talking about
on Sunset Street.
Yeah, it was one of them. He talked about accidentally setting himself on fire.
Wow. Yeah, that was Go-Go Dance, JoJo or whatever. Yeah, he was so high he set himself on fire. I said, "Oh my God." Yeah,
and he was also, I remember this one skit he talked about having a pet monkey because he was. I get the impression he was really rich in the 70s. I don't know how really hell when money's got older, but he had like a pet monkey. And the monkey had a tendency to run up someone's arm and screw him in the ear.
Yeah,
he'd have guests over.
Wild. Yeah,
he'd have guests over. And they'd go for the cage, and he wouldn't warn them. It's like, right in the ear.
You know what? You know what other movie would get scrutinized? Police Academy.
Yeah, probably. Yeah,
a little bit.
When they went to the Blue Oyster. Oh man.
Oh hell.
Yeah. But all this kind of makes me wonder if we would start seeing like a kind of a more move towards indie movies in the future that could still embrace that type of humor without necessarily being judged as much, and be more underground.
Well, people are getting pissed off now, apparently, about Tropic Thunder.
Yeah, I know, which was, 20 years ago?
Well, no, I think it was more like 10 years ago, but still.
And Robert Downey Jr.
Remember that time Iron Man painted himself in blackface?
No, it would have been more like 12, 13 years ago, yeah.
He did do the blackface, but here's the thing.
Yeah, 2008, yeah.
Yeah, but here's the thing.
He played a character who was wearing blackface. He did not.
He was an actor.
We can
talk
about
an actor wearing a blackface.
We can also talk about what exactly blackface is, though. It's one thing to make yourself look like another race. It's a different thing. The minstrel show thing was supposed to be a parody and to make fun of black people.
Yeah, so they did.
Yeah, or you could be what was it? South Carolina governor. Which governor was it?
Woods.
The one who was very much grinning blackface in his yearbook.
Well, we still don't know if he was wearing blackface or if he was one of the clan robes. I don't believe they clarified. We don't know which one he was. I'm not sure which one he was.
Here's the thing: he did the blackface, and then when he got caught, then he tried to make it like, oh no. I think he tried to say he was acting like he was Michael Jackson. It was all kinds of stuff.
What?
It was all kinds of stuff he was saying that the stories were saying. I don't know.
Nice.
But he didn't. Here's the thing: he didn't own up. He didn't admit that that's what he was doing. But
I feel like he should at least
if you're gonna do it, admit it. I mean, I have more respect for you if you own what you do.
Yeah, I mean, and to not to be whatever, but we've seen this in security too, right? Because we see companies every
yeah.
freaking week who are breached,
Yeah.
but admit it, especially public companies.
Mhm.
And we don't see hardly any issue with public companies. Now, the companies we see the biggest issues with decent sized breaches are going to be the small to medium size,
Yeah.
because then you kind of lose the loyalty of the customer. And kind of just lose that type of trust. And so that's where the biggest risk lies. But with
Yeah.
larger scale companies, disclosing the breach is favorably looked upon,
Yeah.
without hardly any retribution to them. And the same type of thing with that, right? Saying, yeah, I screwed up. This happened. I've learned from my mistakes. You actually admitting that you made a effing mistake, because how many politicians have ever said they made a mistake? Like
depends
none.
on the phrasing. I'm so sorry you feel offended.
Well, yeah, I'm sorry you feel offended does not say that you made a mistake or that I
Well,
made a
it's
mistake.
the equivalent of saying "fuck off."
Yeah,
Pretty much.
yeah, and that's pretty much an asinine thing to do.
Well,
But
people's on it today. What's up, man?
yeah,
I don't know that fucking Facebook thing set me off.
I see. Oh man, feel how you feel, my brother. That's all I would say.
I'm fine though. I'm fine. I'm also just kind of.
I know, man. Hey, listen. Sometimes you just got to have the effort moment. It happens.
Yeah.
I'll put it. Let's. Hey, you having the effort moment. Everybody has. You have to take your sunglasses off. Like, oh shoot, he's having the effort moment. I guess if I have an effort moment, it'll be Armageddon. I don't know.
whenever Charles has an effort moment,
Oh,
you're gonna see the arms cross. That's how you know what's happening.
And he starts rapping.
Yeah. While he's rapping.
No, if I put the music on, blah blah. Yeah, I guess that'll be it then.
And just so everybody knows, he's usually more up in this type of a position, going down like this. Yeah.
You know what? With everything that's going on, I don't have the energy to have epic moments. I just don't. I really don't. I just don't have the energy to do the epic.
Right.
I just, like I said, I'm not mad at being able to be. I'm not mad at being able to remote work remotely from home. I'm not sad about it.
I love it. Like,
you know what?
I've been doing it before all this crap started. Like,
right.
I love being able to spend time with my wife and kids. Like,
me too.
And take my hour lunch. But two, that's one of the big things, right? Is that you have defined work hours, that you take your breaks when you're supposed to take your breaks. And two, you'll probably have to schedule lunches because people will want to abuse that time that you take for lunch and take a lunch. But during those times, I spend times with my family. Yeah. And I love it.
Me too. I love playing tea time with my daughter.
That sounds. I bet you would.
Yeah. Heck yeah, man! Shoot, spend as much time as you can with the kids, so when they grow up, they can't say Dad didn't do this.
That's right. Just make sure you aren't having like 40 times with your daughter. That's bad.
Yeah. That's bad.
Tea is good. 40s are bad, especially at her age.
I never even done 40s. I never even drunk a 40.
Yeah, you only made it to 20.
Nope. Nah, I was never into malt liquor and all the other stuff. Maybe that's the reason I don't look like I'm 55 years old.
Well, see, that's one of my favorite Facebook memes right now. I made it through Mad Dog 2020. This 2020 ain't nothing.
Nah, I did do Mad Dog 2020.
Oh man, we had a bum wine tasting at my house once. I don't know if I had like 5 or 6 different types of Mad Dog, and it was all the colors, so we lined them up like a rainbow.
Oh, hey,
we had some I don't know if we had Night Train. We had Cisco. I know.
Oh god.
What is that?
Hey! Cisco sang the thong song.
And what is there something? There's something that, I don't know its actual name, but I know it's something that's nicknamed $2 Chuck.
Oh, I
I'm
do
trying to
remember that.
what it actually is. I'll look it up. $2 Chuck.
Yeah.
No, I last time I drunk Cisco, I just went to karaoke somewhere. I just remember doing karaoke.
Charles Shaw wine. Apparently, it's $2 Chuck.
I just can't drink that. I just can't do the alcohol like I used to.
Yeah, me neither.
My energy level won't allow me.
Yeah.
I go on and off in drinking. I'm trying not to drink anything at all here for a bit. It causes problems with acid reflux, it seems, especially as you get older.
Wasn't $2 Chuck a mixture of like the throwaway wine from other?
You know, I don't actually know, but it has a Wikipedia entry, so
That
well, in the Wikipedia article, it's called Charles Shaw wine, and I'm not sure exactly how it's made.
Okay.
now drinking just gives me more energy than I already have. So that's
Drinking what? Like Red Bull vodkas?
no
or
alcohol, like clear, like vodka, like vodka, just alcohol, like clear alcohol. That
Hey, you gotta watch out. Whenever you're talking clear alcohol, there are distinctions. You know, there's like vodka, and then there's also shine.
vodka.
And there's big differences.
Yeah, vodka, scotch, moonshine. Now, moonshine is rare. But I have to be like in Tennessee somewhere to even drink that. That's yeah.
Yeah, shine is usually more of a good old boys drink.
No,
You know, and that's something I don't know if any of my black friends honestly have ever had shine.
but
Now, like real shine. You know, I know most of them have had like Everclear, but
I had real shine.
huh?
well, now you have one friend that does shine. All right.
Okay.
You know Bill Gardner?
Yeah.
Ask him about that.
I have like
Nice.
well, see for me, let's see, my energy level's already on 1,000, so more alcohol.
Yes, we know.
That's it. Well, yeah, that's right. You guys know. But and adding that to it is just like, oh, I'm out of orbit. Like, yeah, I'm on another level, another planet.
Nice.
No,
I'll tell you
nice.
what, shine side, what I really like,
Yeah.
apple pie.
Mm.
You guys ever had apple pie?
Yeah, I've had like a commercial
Yeah.
version.
Yeah, it's good shit.
Yes. Oh, and not like the putting apple juice in it. No, no. Actually putting apples in, throwing some actual cinnamon sticks in there, and then closing it up, throwing it back, you know, in a non-lit closet for another 10 weeks.
And you got some serious stuff.
That's good stuff.
You know what I miss, and I'm so mad at myself. I should have went on those tours more, the bourbon tours for DerbyCon, when they used to do the bourbon.
I'm a little disappointed about that.
Yeah,
I'm planning on doing something here next couple years and going down and doing one, because I hit a couple of them, but I've never done the actual like all the different tours, because I've been like 2 or 3 of the different distilleries. So
yeah.
But I want to hit all of them.
Yeah.
And 2, maybe next year, Who's Your Hacker Con, go across the river and do that.
You know what? We should.
Yeah.
We should. Yeah, I can honestly say that was like, because I drove down to the last DerbyCon from Virginia. I drove. Mm-hmm. When I say that was a nice, beautiful drive, yeah.
I hate driving long distances.
It was not. Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Yeah, it took me 9 hours, but it was But I kept like I would stop and stretch. Like I'd be in West Virginia, stop, stretch, eat at like, the
get
local.
Assaulted by a crazy white guy.
Oh no,
car, drive away.
Oh no, You say get assaulted? Oh no, y'all be reading.
Hey, the hills have eyes.
Yeah, hey, y'all be reading about that white guy. I don't take kindly to physical violence, but I will defend myself.
Yeah, stop in West Virginia. Hopefully not too long.
Yeah, or whoever feels like they need to try their luck, please feel free.
Hey, you got something in the girlfriend's fridge?
What's that?
Tea Maker has some shine in the girlfriend's fridge.
All right, Tea Maker.
Yep. You should throw the apple slices in, throw the cinnamon sticks in, let it bake for about 10 weeks, and then have fun. Or just ship it up to me. No, thank you.
Tea Maker.
Yes, that Tea Maker. Yes.
Yeah, if you want to make some money. Oh yeah. Never mind. I'm talking too much on air.
You can go get yourself some Boone's Farm.
True too. Good.
Well, I mean, that's going to be essentially the same.
I mean, that's an alternative.
Yeah, I know. It's cheap and it's nasty. That's the point.
Yeah, it's going to be the same as $2. So, yeah.
I thought I was drinking Cisco.
That thong, the thong, thong, thong.
Oh, music of our generation. Isn't it amazing?
Oh, what did I see? Mambo number 6.
What am I? Do, 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 do. It is cold. Wife's got the AC.
Ever cold?
My wife has the AC. I think she has the essential air on.
Oh, you got AC. Oh, that's nice. That sounds beautiful.
Central air?
Yeah.
You have central air, I'm sure, too.
Nah. That got killed in a flood
No.
3 years ago, I think.
But your central air?
Yeah.
That sucks. Well, you got AC, I know.
I have like a little portable AC that I have in the house. I mean, it's not big enough for the house, but at least you can go in a couple areas and get cooled down a little bit. It keeps it on average, I would say, probably 6 degrees, anywhere from 6 to 9 degrees cooler than whatever it is outside.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Okay, let's hit the last couple things under random shite.
It's done. We're done.
Okay, we have the last one that I wanted to hit real quick. Suspect of distributing collection 1 arrested. Since we didn't have that on the show notes, I went ahead and added it in here. A man in the Ukraine who is a suspect for collection 1 as well as collection 2 through however freaking high it goes. Like
5.
Nah, I think no, that was just publicly released. I think there's like 7 to 10 because they found more that weren't released yet. Has been arrested in the Ukraine. Posted a couple links on here that you could look through, but some of the information has been used for banking related crimes and some other things. So it's getting kind of interesting. And if nobody knows about the Ukraine, kind of how sentiments lie in the Ukraine, I used to have Ukrainian coworkers, and there are, you're going to like where I take this. There are 2 different camps. There are those that are pro-Ukraine and those that are pro-Russia, even though they have been born and raised in the Ukraine. It's kind of where family loyalties lie. So my guess is this individual is probably more pro-Russia. And so we will probably in the future be saying Russia, Russia, Russia. Can't say that for sure now, but that's what my guess is.
If they're referring to it as the Ukraine, they're pro-Russia.
Yeah.
Because no one in Ukraine who likes Ukraine calls it the Ukraine. That was a term used during the Soviet occupation.
Yeah. So As much as I don't want to say it, Russia.
Okay, Rachel Maddow.
You're welcome. And Teammaker said it has been marinating since December. That sounds amazing. Just make sure there's no mold inside. Make sure it was fully under the alcohol level the entire time and was not catching any air. At least anything organic.
Well, the apples in it, I mean, I'm going to suck up the alcohol into themselves anyway.
Yeah, I mean, they may suck up some, but normally you're going to have it in a mason jar, and the apples aren't going to suck up enough that the level of alcohol will lower below the height of the apple. So you normally are going to be good. You just don't want organic material being up in the oxygenated space where it could potentially mold. And Barry said the Ukraine is the borderlands. Agreed. Whatever happened with what were those small group of countries that Russia was overtaken a couple years ago? Or attempting to? Crap.
Crimea?
Nah.
Well, Crimea is a region.
Yeah, it's a
in
region.
Ukraine. There wasn't really a group of countries. They've invaded Crimea. I know they made some actions towards Georgia in the past. They've obviously engaged in cyber warfare with like Estonia and Latvia, but nothing like no physical confrontations.
Yeah, it was all cyber side.
I
Dang
would
it, I
think
can't.
Georgia would have too many rednecks to invade.
What's that?
I would think Georgia would have too many rednecks to invade.
Hee hee hee. So funny. Yes. And then you get
Well, I mean-
Alabama.
I mean, Russia's always in a lot of cyber warfare, and China too, with a lot of its neighbors, because they're ticked off at Russia's bullshit.
Yeah, speaking of China, did you guys see today Secretary of State, I think it was, officially said that we are downgrading Hong Kong and essentially placing it kind of back underneath the sovereignty of China?
Yeah.
Just because they have not shown
China as a trading partner.
What was that?
It's because we value China as a trading partner.
Well, we always gave special privileges to Hong Kong because they were considered separate from China to a degree.
Yeah, and so now we're kind of backtracked on that just because there's not enough that separates them from China. They can't necessarily exist apart from China. And
the recent vote where they physically carried out the democratic lawmakers, the pro-democracy lawmakers within Hong Kong to vote on a pro-Chinese nationalism law.
You're saying they did do that?
Yes, they physically carried out the pro-democracy lawmakers so that the pro-Chinese lawmakers could vote on a law that would criminalize insulting the Chinese national anthem with years in jail.
Wow.
And this is also seems a precursor for other laws that are effectively going to rob Hong Kong of any meaningful independence.
Yeah. Man, it's disappointing.
And I've seen some of the protests on the ground. It's so endearing to see how, I'm not sure if you're familiar with the Japanese use of the word romantic. But it's kind of like they have such an idealized fantasy of what democracies around the world are.
Yeah.
It has such a high opinion of America and the various cultures in America that it's just heartbreaking just to see this all fail. It's just heartbreaking to see them just get overrun by fucking Winnie the Pooh.
Well, I mean, that's been a thing for a long time in China. They've really ramped up the last decade or so, even kind of last 2 decades. Their one China policy and enforcement of it. I mean, I have seen a lot of cases of where even things that were historically true, where Tibet was a different country, and now you try and say that you try and produce anything that runs contrary to that, they will shut your ass down in a fucking New York second.
Yeah, see that happen for a few movies. I heard that for a while there, Brad Pitt wasn't allowed in China because of that movie he made. What was it, 7 Years in Tibet?
No, the one with Angelina Jolie or something, right?
No, I don't think
where he escaped from the prison camp, or
I'm pretty sure 7 Years in Tibet is the name of the movie.
Oh, was that it?
I'm pretty sure. Also, there's other things with Hollywood Masters. I think there's a group called FEE on YouTube. They actually have a thing about how China influences all Hollywood movies and so forth, because they're a big market over there now. And so there was various patches on Maverick's jacket in the new sequel movie that's coming out for Top Gun that they had to remove because it upset China. I don't remember which ones it was. And there's various movies they've kind of fucked with, like Doctor Strange. The character of the Ancient One is way different. But I understand why they had to change it. First of all, he was a Tibetan mystic, the Ancient One, the one that trains Doctor Strange. He was this ancient Tibetan monk guy, and his problem was twofold. First of all, he's from Tibet, which China's not going to like. Also, he was kind of a Fu Manchu stereotypical caricature of an Asian person. So the SJWs would have got him on him for that if they made him like he is in the comic books. So they made it a cultic woman instead.
Nah. At least I thought she did a good job.
Yeah, she did a good job.
No, not just that too, but like I think I mentioned before in the cast, but I play BattleTech, and in it it uses a lot of real world history leading up to its own events, and that starts in World War II, back when Tibet was a separate country. And they make references to that in the book, and when they tried to get it printed there, they basically said, no, fuck you, we're not doing it because it goes against our one China policy, so they had to go and redo it.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I think you're right about the 7 Years in Tibet, because the movie I was thinking of was Spy Games, where he started off like in that, I don't think it was a Chinese prison, but he started off in a prison.
China is becoming more and more what's the right word? Willing to exert its views outside of China itself.
Closed walls. Yes.
Well, we need to start them to go fuck themselves. I remember
they want to impose their views on anyone who does business with them, and this is we're going to see a lot more of their crap over the next decade or two.
Yeah, it's called being imperialist. That's literally, they call the U.S. imperialist when we go and went to Iraq and Afghanistan. That's imperialist. No, that's really not. This is imperialist, motherfucker.
No blood for oil.
It's the SJWs are specifically anti-West. It is, and America is uniquely evil. As in, it doesn't matter what anyone else does because America is so far down the Satan incarnate route that you could have Xi Jinping raping a child on national television and they would hand wave it away.
Well, shit. Our intellectual
maybe not that bad, but not far from it.
Should be horrible then too. So stop stealing that.
But it's like I said, that's their mentality. Is the anti-imperialist mentality is America evil.
Yeah.
And as far as their versions of that kind of stuff in politics and foreign policy, it translates to get America out of the world. There is nothing good America can do anywhere. Sorry for that rant there. I've looked too much into their policy kind of
I heard some complaints from people like Tim Pool about the American news media basically putting out Chinese propaganda just because it made because they thought it made Trump look bad. So,
speaking of which, I'm kind of surprised you haven't mentioned it. Hillary Clinton recently was on the news, doing a talk show. or some news segment, where she pretty much said, if Russia is going to be the patron hackers for the GOP, China, you should be the patron hackers for the Democrats. That I'm shitting you not. She said, the American media will be more than happy to give you preferential treatment. Just go ahead, hack into the IRS, get his tax returns. I shit you not. She was saying all this stuff.
Now, Beef, I know you have no reason to lie, but holy shit, I gotta see this. Mostly just because
I can absolutely link it. I have
please,
the link.
we have to watch that because that's just like so far beyond the pale. Holy shit!
It is. And her logic was, well, court said it's not a conspiracy if you say something out in open air. When with reference to China, with reference to Trump originally saying, "Hey, Russia, go hack Hillary" or whatever, and this is just her way of saying that back, and she is salty as fuck.
Trying to retaliate on it.
Let's see. The tweet. Let's see.
I'm really upset that it didn't come up in my first video search.
Here we go. Got it. It's on MSNBC.
There's an irony there.
Yeah, well, the Trump thing was on Fox, so. Eh.
No, I mean, like, MSNBC is basically owned by her. There's irony there.
All right, so I pasted it in chat.
Nah, you gotta put it up in the video, man.
He doesn't want to do video. Someone else do video and put it up.
Yeah, someone else do video. I don't want to try to. It'd be a bit of a pain in the ass to rename a video in this thing.
Yeah, you don't want to have those tabs open. I remember one time I had something embarrassing open in one of the tabs when I went live with video.
The Russians probably did.
Where the fuck is share thing? Where's my fucking window? I got too many windows open.
Yeah.
Here we go. That'll work. Share this random shit that's on my screen. And then
So let's look at those tabs there. Where is the tentacle porn?
Did help them, to whatever extent we may not yet know. So we're not going to go there. We're going to do what they tell us. Imagine, Rachel, that you had one of the Democratic nominees for 2020 on your show. And that person said, the only other adversary of ours who's anywhere near as good as the Russians is China. So why should Russia have all the fun? And since Russia is clearly backing Republicans,
Not
why
really.
do we have China to back us?
I hereby tonight ask China.
That's right. And not only that, China, if you're listening, why don't you get Trump's tax returns? I'm sure our media would richly reward you. Now, according to the Mueller report, that is not conspiracy because it's done right out in the open. So if after this hypothetical Democratic candidate says this on your show, within hours, all of a sudden the IRS offices are bombarded with incredibly sophisticated cyber tools looking for Trump's tax returns, and then extracts them and then passes them to whatever the new WikiLeaks happens to be, and they start being unraveled and disclosed. Nothing wrong with that.
interesting.
Actually, most of the leaks way before Trump even said anything like that.
I have no idea.
I don't remember the exact timeline. Live Beef, do you remember?
I think one of the hacks took place shortly after Trump said that. Could have been coincidental timing. Because I still have a hard time believing that any Russian officials would take him seriously in that. But who knows? I don't really know enough about Russia's this seems really doubtful about that. But yeah, she sounds pretty salty.
She did phrase it in such a way that it was like if somebody came on your show and said this, as opposed to saying I'm on your show and I'm saying this.
Yeah, the one mitigating factor is to if a 2020 Democratic nominee rather than 2016. But yeah, that that's something. Oh gosh. Anyway,
I don't see why everyone's so obsessed about his tax returns. I mean, we all know he's broke.
it's a traditional political canard to focus the media cycle on.
He's a shitty businessman. We all know it. You know.
Yeah.
Well, he's had a lot of things go bankrupt, but he's had other things that may have been a success. You can foray into a lot of different businesses and not have them all be successful.
I think it's pretty funny he was banned from his own casino.
What?
Yeah. The Trump casino. He was banned from it.
Why exactly?
I don't remember.
I'd like to get an article on that because that doesn't sound.
Now I have to Google. Google time.
Well, while you're looking that up, anybody who shops at Aldi or has one nearby, this sweet and salty Cajun trail mix, freaking amazing. Dude, I could eat this whole freaking bag in like 15 minutes if I were that bad. But man, it is so good.
That conducive to your diet?
Currently, yes. So I think I mentioned I'm not doing keto currently since I have my elbow injury, which is why you also see me drinking a little bit of beer, which I haven't had, and so I'm totally enjoying now for a short time until my elbow's healed up. But once the elbow's healed up, then probably go back to, I don't know, we'll see. I'm thinking about doing a weight gain, lifting heavy, but doing carb loads too for a short time, just for 8-week time frame probably, and then do keto from that point on to slim back down after I do a bulk phase. So
I feel like I've been on an 8-year bulk phase. I wonder if my gym is open yet.
I think gyms in Ohio have opened. I don't know about Indiana yet, but I think that's one of the things that have opened in Ohio. I know, unfortunately, since my parents are in Indiana, I see still quite a bit of Indiana news, but obviously see a lot of Ohio stuff too. We've had a lot of kind of small restaurants shut down here, or just not necessarily shut down, but not reopened due to COVID and the restrictions.
That stuff, and they will either lie or embellish.
No, I just never thought to check it.
But yeah, there's quite a few of the kind of small mom and pop type of restaurants that have unfortunately folded in both Ohio and Indiana. I know there's one place in Martinsville called Charlie's that had been around since 1950, I think 1958, but it was like 1950s. And nobody in the immediate family wants to kind of open it back up and keep it going. And the current husband and wife who take care of it are kind of getting up there in age. So they were like, we're not going to sell it off. We're just going to shut it down. It's like, that sucks. And I unfortunately never got to eat there because I already told my parents, and if they ever see this episode, like, they never took me there because mom and dad did not spend a lot of money on taking us out to eat when I was a kid. So sorry. But mom and dad had been there quite a few times, and apparently they had tenderloins. They were about a foot across, to 14 inches. So 12 to 14 inches across these tenderloins. Then they have some lettuce, pickle, probably a little bit of mayo or something, and a standard size bun. So you get this massive, stupid tenderloin, on a regular size bun, but reasonably priced. But some of the best tenderloins you would ever see, and yeah, they're gonna be shutting down. But there's quite a few, so that for me is one of the big unfortunate parts. Got a lot of small time businesses going to be folding.
All because of the Boomer Doomer.
Yeah.
The Boomer Remover.
Oh, totally off topic. I did see, if you guys have ever seen threadup.com or heard of it, they have partnered with Walmart. So through walmart.com, you'll be able to buy, and ThreadUp is like used clothes. I don't know if they have guys' clothes, because anytime you look at these kind of secondhand online things, it's always women's, and you never see guys' clothes. So I don't know. They may have guys' clothes, but they definitely have women's clothes. Like if you go to a thrift store and look at the clothes section, the women's area is going to be like 5 times larger than the men's section. But threadup.com has come to an agreement with walmart.com that walmart.com will start selling ThreadUp on their site. And then say you get the used clothes, you don't like them for whatever reason, you can actually return them to a brick and mortar Walmart store, which is kind of interesting that you're, taking a used clothes concept, and be able to return it to a brick and mortar Walmart type of a place. So that was about the only thing today that I was like, that's kind of different. But that's my weird thing for the week.
No. Anyway.
No. I saw some frequencies for I don't know anyone listening who has a hack RF or not, but apparently some frequencies you can listen in on to get some details about the spaceflight launch this coming Saturday.
What kind of details?
That's a great question. I do not know. They have the frequencies.
Where are they transmitting from? Because if it's in Texas, I ain't picking it up in New York. Or if it's in Florida,
You just need a big enough antenna.
Where is the flight? I'll have the frequency numbers here. Space flight education. I only just heard about the space flight today. It's in California? No.
You know how they broadcast radio over the web? Is there anybody who takes ham frequencies and broadcasts those over the web?
Yes, Radio Reference does it a lot. Several others do. A couple of local repeaters near me are actually on there too.
Oh, okay, cool. I wonder, how many, if they're getting 80, 85%, or if it's 15, 20%.
Well, ham is open. There's no encryption allowed, so anyone can listen to it just to be on the same frequency as them.
Yeah. Well,
so all it takes is a scanner to figure out who's out there and transmitting.
No, but I'm talking about what was the first site you said?
Radio Reference.
Radio Reference. Reference. I'm just with Radio Reference. I wonder how many frequencies they actually get. Are they getting half of them within the US? Or
so ham has a specific set of frequencies they can actually go to from a certain range, depending on which license you have. So it's the frequency list is known. It's a finite list. It's not some infinite band.
Correct. Which is why I'm wondering, of those finite lists, how many Radio Reference currently has?
Probably a lot. Again, all you have to do is throw the scanner and
5% or if they're actually getting like 85%, like the vast majority of them out there, they're getting, like, that's what I'm wondering.
Well, all it takes is someone nearby who has the want to put it up in the scanner, because once you have it on a scanner, you can figure out what it is and then plug it to via an SDR and then upload it through them. That's all it takes.
And radio reference, I'm assuming that's still only going over like ham, right? Because
they
like,
do ham, public.
police
Yeah,
and-
they do police.
Oh,
for
okay.
those that they can. A lot of them are encrypted now, but there are still quite a few who are not. But usually, fire, EMS, NWS, all those are usually still unencrypted.
Really?
Yeah.
I did not know that they started. I mean, because a lot of the stuff I listen to is still like not encrypted. So when did they start doing some type of encryption on?
It depends on the organization. If I remember right, like around here, Fort Worth police are encrypted. Irving police are encrypted. I think Louisville police are encrypted. I don't think I'm not sure if Dallas is or not. I don't think they are. So I mean, it depends upon the department, if it's whether that's local or county or state. So,
I mean, and I'm 100% for that, right? Because one of the things that a project I was working on 4 or 5 years ago was that so many emergency channels were unencrypted. You could get just a crazy, stupid amount of personal identifiable information off of emergency channels. You were going to get somebody's name. You're going to get their address. You were going to get their social, right? Potentially driver's license number. You were going to get so much stuff. And programmatically being able to capture that data, index it all out and make it fully searchable. Like, that's a lot of data going over public airwaves.
Yeah. And
so
you can get some fun shit from.
Yeah. So the fact that they are finally starting to encrypt it is very, very encouraging, because they say some absurd and just stream so much stupid crap over public airwaves that it's like, whoa. I mean, I could completely steal somebody's identity based upon a traffic stop sometimes. Yeah.
Well, that's why they try and do that, via a cellular modem or something like that with a laptop in the car, rather than radio over and go, hey, give me the details of, license plate XYZ.
Yeah, which is good. I'm glad they're finally doing something. I mean, because there was a small group of us work, and that wasn't like a hacker side. That was more obviously research side, but it was a project that we were working on a few years ago, and trying to bring more exposure to it, just how unsecure those different frequencies were. So that's good, because that was kind of a big pet peeve of mine for quite a while, because there was good information going over the waves.
There's some really good shit going over POXAG and Flex.
Could be.
Oh yeah, I can confirm. There's some really good shit going over the wire.
Nice. Well, anybody else got anything fun for this week?
Well, you know about how that crazy woman in the park in Central Park was yelling at the black guy and called the cops on him.
Yes.
Well, now there's another one of these same kind of incidents where in Minneapolis, this guy in a WeWork building, he rented an office there. They had a gym, and there were some black people who also rented an office from the building using the gym. And he went in the gym and started screaming at them, asking them if they belong, and asking for their identification. And yeah, and now
whoa, wait, do you want my identification or like a WeWork identification?
So Twitter's going about this, and they're not just Twitter, a whole bunch of social media. It's like they've called up the guy's office, and one of his coworkers quit because he got sick of people calling him up asking about the coworker who ranted and raved. It's Tom Austin guy.
Yeah, everybody needs to care a little bit less. Like the two people in Central Park, I'm not saying one was not more wrong than the other, but they should have just not contacted each other. Yeah, I know the dog needs to be on a leash, but I don't think I would bother. Unless something's really directly affecting me or someone else, I'm not going to bother.
They should have followed social distancing a bit more.
And she got right in that guy's face. She was like a foot away from him, and he kept going, "Please back away from me. Please get out of my space." And if she was afraid, that's not the reaction.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, people suck. That's pretty much all there is to it.
Yep. And let's go on that note. People suck.
Yeah, you change one letter on Frank's hat and it says "suck."
Yep.
All right, guys. We can have a little talk after the stream, but I'll go ahead and end the stream now. Hopefully everybody catches us next week. Talk to y'all later.
Yeah. Have a good week, everybody.
Laters.